Good evening and welcome inside Remax Field in Edmonton, Alberta. My name is Andrew Peard, and tonight the Edmonton Prospects host the Moose Jaw Miller Express in Game 2 of a 3-game series. Last night on Canada Day, it was the hometown Prospects going home with a 12-2 victory, evening out their record to 14-14 on the season, while the Express dropped to 11-12. On the mound, it was Hunter Boyd doing what Hunter Boyd does, that is being dominant. 7 innings pitched to go along with 10 strikeouts to pick up his 4th victory of the season. And offensively, it was catcher Jake Gary going 3 for 4 on the night and bringing in 3 runs batted in. Tonight, it is Game 2 of this 3-game set between the Prospects and Moose Jaw Miller Express. To further get you set for tonight's contest, send it up to the men who have the call, Al Coates and John Belmont.
All right, well, thank you, Andrew. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Remax Field, Game 2 of the 3-game series. As you just heard, it was Canada Day yesterday, and a Prospects victory. It might as well have been Siberia Day.
That was as cold a July 1st that's ever been in Edmonton.
I'll tell you what, it was something. The good thing was after the game, we went downstairs and got some antifreeze, a little Lynchburg lemonade to get you through the night.
It helped a lot.
It was. I'll give you the final totals again. 12 runs, 14 hits, 4 errors. That's not particularly good. And 7 left on base for the Prospects. And I'll tell you what, Blake Gallagher, young right-handed pitcher out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, he had nothing to hang his head about. He went a 5-inning distance, 4 runs, 3 earned. He struck out 8 batters. He threw strikes all night. He only walked 1. He would have deserved a little better than his fate, but that's just the way it goes. The Prospects kind of feasted on the relief pen and played it a whole pile of runs en route to the victory.
They most certainly did. The bullpen kind of hurt Moose Jaw last night, but at the same time, the Prospects' bats were really swinging.
Hunter Boyd had 1 out in the 2nd inning. All of a sudden, he's got the bases loaded. This kid didn't spit the bit. He went out and he got 2 strikeouts swinging and got out of the jam.
And he's done that all year. How many times have we seen him get into trouble early innings and either get 2 on or load the bases and get out of it?
Boyd went a 7-inning distance, 2 earned runs, scattered 9 hits, struck out 10, didn't walk a batter, hit 1 batter. He improves now to 4 victories and no losses on the season. Let's take a look at the highlight package. Boyd is ready to pitch. Hard ground ball right side. No play for Walker, diving, and that'll be a run-scoring single. And the Miller Express are on the board. Jake McDonald is the batter up, nobody out, and the base is loaded here in the last of 4. There's a squibber to the right side. It's through the hole for a base hit. And we are tied, and there was a load of bottom spin on that ball. Edison is in Yorkton to play the Cardinals. The ball's put into play. It's a slow ground ball off to the right-handed side. Campbell took a peek to second base, took his eye off the ball. That'll be well, he's scoring at a hit, but
Be playing at double field depth now.
That's a fly ball hit deep enough to score the run. Here's Dzinich camped under this, makes the catch, makes the throw to the cutoff man, no relay, and in to score from third base is Javier Ramirez. Tying run is at the plate. There's a high hopper up the middle. Ramirez tried to pick it on the short hop. That's a ball that kind of ate him up, I would think, for a single. And it's a 3-2 ball game. He had no choice but to try to play the short hop. And here they have a man in scoring position. The runner breaks for third. It's a hit and run play. McDougall, the third baseman, he had a hot potato, a hard one hopper. He knocked it down, throws home. And that'll be a base hit and a run batted in as Davis Pratt stroked that ball to the opposite field. 6 1/2 games back. Runner goes, and it's a hit and run play, and the ball is stroked out into right center field. That might score the run. It's a gapper. Michael Borst is going to try to get the ball back to the infield. You start your runner, and good things happen, and that's a run-scoring double. He didn't hit the ball behind the runner. He hit it ahead of him like he didn't hit him. And he struck out looking. Here he turns this one right around, and it's a room service fly ball to Tucker Dzinich. Didn't have to move. Ball is well thrown by Dzinich, right on the money. Here comes the 1-2. Ball is chopped to the left side of the diamond between the wickets of Farrell at shortstop. That's an error, and a run will come in to score. He's got to pick that ball. And the pitch, he pulled the trigger on it. He turns this one right around. That ball is going to go to the wall in deep left field. That will score 1 run, maybe 2. 2 runs will score on a double as Edgar Harrell nails that pitch, hits it right on the screws, a 2-base hit to left field. You make the seams too pronounced, you're going to get blistered fingers. There's a hanger out over the plate. 1 run in to score. They're going to wave in another one. The throw is up the road. 2 in to score. Men at second and third base. As Soroka gets lit up here in the 8th inning. Ramirez dropped down just about a textbook bunt in his first at bat of the ball game. Here's going to get a run batted in on a slow ground ball. Pulled the guards of the shortstop. Sidearms to the target. Nolan Walker comes in to score. Jake Geary moves on to third. So that's the way it was last night, the Prospects' victory. As we said, it was colder than a banker's heart. Now, it's not really balmy here tonight, but it's better. It's a comfortable night, not balmy. And a little bit of rain coming down at the present time. We don't expect that to last very much longer as we get set for Game 2 of this series between the Moose Jaw Miller Express and the Edmonton Prospects. We'll head back down to the field of play and get the opinions from the various dugouts.
Joined now by Prospects manager Jordan Blundell. And Jordan, we'll start with this. I'm sure you're running out of ways to describe the performances of Hunter Boyd, but I'll turn it over to you. Just more dominance from the ace of your rotation.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. Hunter did what Hunter does. Gave us a chance to win. Gave our crowd and our fans something to cheer for sure. And held us in there when it was tight. The game got away a little bit there later. We were able to score some runs, but that didn't happen until after Hunter established that he wasn't going to let them do what they wanted to do. So another great performance. We're really grateful to have him.
It was 12 runs, you mentioned that, and it came in from kind of the middle of your lineup to the back of the lineup, getting some real good production from them. How important is that, this part of the season?
We'd love to see a lot of guys contribute for sure, and to score that many runs, you need a bunch of guys helping out. I thought we had really good at-bats for the most part. Here and there, some of our at-bats weren't great, but something that our lineup did yesterday was made adjustments. And that was what gave us the opportunity to score some runs, and we were able to cash when we had the chance. So that was great to see.
You guys have won 3 of 4 now. 2 of those wins coming against Weyburn. Just a big candidate win over Moose Jaw yesterday. Does it feel like this team's starting to maybe get on a bit of a run?
Honestly, we're taking it day by day. Obviously having a little bit of success in a row, shows a bit of a run, but we've been around the game long enough to know that every day is a new day when 2 new pitchers go. So, we respect that ball club over there. We know that they want to get us tonight, and back to the drawing board for us. We want to keep doing what we do well, which is have good at-bats and throw strikes.
New pitcher tonight, it's Austin Kennedy getting the start on the mound. What's the scouting report on him? What are you looking for out of him tonight?
Yeah, Austin likes to work quick. I think this is his first start at home, so we're excited for him to experience that. When he's on, he pounds, he works quick. He's got a lot of energy. Guys feed off that, and he's fun to watch. So hopefully he has a good one tonight.
Thanks for this, Jordan. Best luck tonight.
Thank you, Andrew.
Joined now by Moose Jaw Miller Express manager Richard Sorenson. Yesterday, a 12-2 loss for your team, but it didn't really end up that way until about the 6th inning kind of got away. What did you see from your team early on to be in that ball game?
Well, I thought we played pretty well till the 4th, and then we, gave up 3 in the 4th inning. On basically routine plays. Balls hit right at us. Problem was we weren't used to the speed of the turf. And what happened yesterday is we weren't able to take BP or take any fungos off of that. So that was our first time on the turf, and it caught us a couple times on there. They hit the ball hard, and we weren't ready for the speed of the ball coming at us. So it affected us.
What goes into the pregame work now that you've seen the artificial turf? What are you looking for your guys to do leading up to tonight's game?
Well, I think now we know how to play a little bit better. But the field that we play on, the grass is about 3 to 4 inches high, so we play in. So we were used to playing in, and the ball caught on us. So we're going to play a little deeper. The ball gets on us a little faster. So I think that part of it was good. It was 4-2 ball game into the 7th, so we kind of just let it go there in the 7th and 8th innings. But I think we'll be back in it okay.
Michael Borst is a guy I want to ask you about. We saw him make a nice fielding play yesterday. He can also give you some work on the mound. Just a natural athlete. What leads to him having success both at the plate and on the pitcher's mound?
Well, a testimony to him was the fact that he knew we needed help on the bump. And so he came to me and said, Coach, I can pitch. I haven't pitched in high school, but I can do it. And so he has really taken hold of pitching, but it's affected his hitting a little bit. So we don't use him to hit when he pitches, and then the next day he's a little sore, and so we don't put him in there either. So it kind of affects us offensively, both having him and Gallagher as being our starting pitching, because they were, our mainstay in our lineup.
It's a new day, it's a new ball game. What are you looking at of your group to try and bounce back from yesterday's result?
Well, that's the beauty about baseball, is that you can go ahead and forget about yesterday and, kind of learn what you did wrong and then bring it back to today. But I think the guys were more focused than today. I think yesterday was kind of the eyes opening, the big crowd, and Canada Day, and they're all getting excited about it. I think now it's just, let's play baseball. So I think that part of it will be a room removed from us. So I think we'll do a better job today.
Good stuff. Thanks for this, Richard. Best luck tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. And you get a look at the climatic conditions right now. And we're having what's called really almost a sun shower. And I've seen that many times. There's some clear blue sky overhead. Somehow it manages to rain. And this year we're a rain magnet.
We sure are. And right now this is pouring just enough. It should set the lines real well. But it's coming down steady.
We'll give you the starting lineup for the visiting Moose Jaw Miller Express. The lineup is penciled in by the man you just saw on TV, Richard Sorenson. Only just met the gentleman yesterday, but I watched him in BP today, and he throws big league BP. He went through a whole bucket of balls, not one foul tip in the batting cage. That is good BP, and you don't appreciate good BP until you don't get it.
That's exactly right. You want to put it where they can hit it.
All right, here's the way the Miller Express lineup tonight. Leading it off in center field, it's Eric Marriott. Marriott, the center fielder. Batting second is Andres Garza. He'll be penciled in as the shortstop tonight. Michael Borst, the three-hitter, sporting a .367 batting average, playing in right field. Darryl Dahl at first base, the four-hole batter. Jordy McDougall, bat fifth, play at third. Cole Wark in the DH, hits sixth. Zach Campbell, the second baseman, bats seventh. Dougie Dela Cruz in left field tonight, bats eighth. And Marcus Menendez will do the catching. He'll bat ninth. And pitching tonight, it'll be Jeff Nicolesi for the Miller Express. The prospects line up this way. Jordan Blundell, the field manager, and the leadoff batter is Brendan Luther. He'll play at second base. Davis Pratt will bat second, play at third. Travis Hunt is the right fielder tonight, bats third. Nolan Walker at first base in the cleanup position. Jake Geary does the catching, bats fifth. Javier Ramirez is the shortstop. He's going to bat sixth. Seven-hole batter is the DH, Eric Crane. Grayson Barrett, I've yet to see this young man play, but he'll bat eighth tonight, line up in left field. And Pierce Blow-Hoyak bats ninth and plays in center field. The starting pitcher tonight for the prospects, Austin Kennedy. Three-man umpiring crew tonight. Corey Davis will call the balls and strikes. Jim Crawford at first base. And Tyler Bourne is the umpire working at third. As you see the players now getting the tarping area up onto the mound. They'll only tarp the mound and home plate. The other three cutouts are not going to have to worry about that. We don't expect this to be a long rain delay. But what we will do is take a commercial timeout and come back, bring you some more information as it's game two of the Miller Express and the Prospects right here on ICU Video.
True patriot love in all of us commands. With glowing hearts we see the wise, the true, north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
So game two of our three-game series just moments away from getting underway. We'll take a quick check of the standings in the Western Canada Baseball League heading into play tonight. Weyburn Beavers 18-6 and a one-half game lead over the Regina Red Sox at 18-7. Swift Current 57s are 3 games back at 15-9. Then you get to the sub-500 ball clubs. Moose Jaw Miller Express 11-12. 5-5 in their last 10 games. They've lost 3 straight, playing a .478 clip. Melville Millionaires at 10-16, 9 back. And the Yorkton Cardinals, they're having a tough year, 2-23, 16.5 games back. Over in the Alberta division, the Okotoks Dogs, these guys are nails, I'll tell you that. They're 21-6. We're going to see them in here on Saturday night. I don't know if I'm looking forward to that or not, but they're 21-6 and a 6-game lead on the Lethbridge Bulls at 16-13. Prospects are a 500 ball club, 14-14. 1-2 straight, 7.5 games out. The Fort McMurray Giants, 13-14, 8 back. Medicine Hat Mavericks are 12-16, 9.5 games out. And the Berks Bombers at 7-21, 14.5 games off the pace. Yeah, did you see tonight's starting pitcher? Austin Cannady's out of Clayton, California, attends Benedictine University. Cannady will make his 4th start. He's logged 15 innings under his belt, 18 hits, 13 runs, 9 earned runs. He's walked 8, he struck out 9. Scored 1 save on the year. He's got an 0-1 record and a 5.40 earned run average. The league is hitting a collective .305 off Cannady. His whip ratio 1.73. Now what that is your walks and your hits, and you divide that by your innings pitched. That's what I think it means. There's a statistic for everything in baseball, and that's one of them. He tonight will have Jake Geary to complete the battery. Davis Pratt at third, Nolan Walker at first. Your middle infield, Ramirez at short, Luther at second base. Left to right on the outfield is Grayson Barrett, Pierce Blow-Hoyak, and Travis Hunt, your starting right fielder. The men in blue, Corey Davis calls the balls and strikes. Umpire at first base is Jim Crawford. The umpire at third is Tyler Bourne. 1,484 in the ballpark last night in that cold night. And I stayed through the concert post game, didn't hang around for the fireworks, but all told, it was a pretty good night at the ballpark despite the cool weather.
It was a lot of fun, and the fans just had a ball during the game and after the game at the concert and watching the fireworks.
We get things underway tonight. Our ball game underway due to the rain delay a little bit late. Opening pitch is going to go at 7:25 Mountain Time. And Eric Marriott will be the leadoff batter, the center fielder. I'll tell you what Richard Sorenson has done. He's got some hitters that are really scuffling, but he's got 4 of them that are hitting right about 300 or a little better. And he's put those guys all in a row, and I do the same thing. It's a little bit tougher to pitch around 4 300 batters.
It certainly is.
And tonight's ball game is underway from the set position. The pitch is a fastball to the outside corner. And strike 1 here to Eric Marriott. He's a .217 batter. Got 1 base hit last night, and he did that in the 7th inning. So he was 1 for 5 with a run scored. Kennedy with a pitch high and wide of the target. Off the catching mitt of Jake Geary and onto the backstop. The week ahead, tomorrow night, will wrap up the series with the Miller Express. And the Prospects will move on Thursday and Friday night to Medicine Hat and a 2-game engagement with the Mavericks back here on Saturday night to renew hostilities with the Okotoks Dogs. And the All-Star game next Sunday. Here's a ball sprayed up the middle for a base hit. Eric Marriott is aboard.
Again, this is a situation, pitcher got the ball up a little bit and over the plate. Nice stroke for a base hit.
Andres Garza, the shortstop. Came in as a pinch hitter in the 8th inning last night. Garza batting .276 on the season as the middle infield shortens up a little bit. Davis Pratt wide of the bag at third. The outfield is straight away. Kennedy steps off and a toss on to first. Full slate of games up in the big leagues tonight. The Toronto Blue Jays continue their series at home. The Boston Red Sox, the opposition. That ball game will be getting close to wrapping up. It was an early 4-0 lead for the Red Sox. That pitch is right down Broadway. We go to strike 1.
Al, we've talked about it a lot, but it's really important for the pitchers in the early innings to get ahead of batters. And this is the one thing Austin Kennedy has to do right off the bat. He showed a much quicker move there on that pickoff. He got the ball up a little bit.
Moose Jaw 11 victories, 12 losses, 6.5 games out. And they are 5-5 in their last 10 games. The Prospects are 4 victories against 6 losses in their last 10. They've had a lot of road work the last couple of weeks. They'll have a few more home games than road games in the month of July. There's a breaking pitch, and that's the first one he's thrown of those tonight. And it's a strike to the outside half of the plate, 0-2. Kennedy's delivery. Fastball that's a tailing fastball, high and outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out, man at first base. Here in the top half of the first inning, about 20 minutes late getting underway. A little shower head that came through, and as you say, just settled the dust a little bit. Big right-hander comes to the plate, and the pitch is fouled away off the fists, so it's a looper foul at third base.
Pulled the string on that a little bit, and the batter got out in front of it. This is one thing that word on Kennedy is that he does have a pretty good change of speed on his breaking ball. If he's got control with it, it'll be very effective.
And the pitch. Threw him a fastball, and that ball is directed out into right field. It's a couple of feet foul of the chalk. To do that, you just loosen the grip when you throw in the curveball. The looser the grip, the bigger the break, the slower the spin, and that's how you get the off-speed pitch on your curveball.
It really works, and again, we've got humidity here, which even helps it more. Well, we've both been in Parksell where you got that high air, that very dry air, and boy, it's tough to get good breaking balls working.
And you're just always going to have yourself a 3.5 hour game. Now, I'm talking about AAA now. I don't know what it'd be in this league, but the outfielders have to play so far back in those parks that all the bleeders would fall in. Now, this time around, though, that's pretty much a room service fly ball out and right. Travis Hunt is camped under that, and you got one away.
Now, again, on this, you look at the pitch. He took a little off of it, got him to pop it up.
Michael Borst is the batter. This will be the first of 4 in a row plus 300 hitters, and Borst is having a great season. He's batting .367. Last night, he was 1 for 5 with a run batted in. Hunter Boyd just an excellent job last night, a 7-inning distance, surrendering 2 earned runs. There the batter squares off to bunt, and the ball goes onto the screen. On to second base is Eric Marriott. I'm just wondering if that was fouled off his bat.
Well, I'm wondering that too.
I thought it was. He showed the bunt.
Well, it sure came off hard. I don't think that came off the glove, so I'm wondering why he's at second base. All
right, we'll score a wild pitch. And in scoring position, Borst with that front foot stuck way out open. Closes it off a little bit, slaps a bouncer up the middle. That should probably produce a run. Nope, they'll hold their man at third base. And you get runners at first and third. Hit that one in pretty good order. That was not going to get fielded by either of the middle infielders.
No, he popped that right up the middle hard. Blahoviak does a nice job in here, and if you notice that Nolan Walker gets over to cover at the mound, does what he does, and the pitcher gets in behind home plate. So we end up with a lot of depth and protection if the ball is thrown off.
Darryl Dahl is the batter, the first baseman, .297 hitter. 0 for 4 last night. He struck out 3 times, bounced out the other occasion. And here the Miller Express threatened a little bit, men at first and third base with only 1 gone. Double play depth in the infield. There's the pitch, and they drop down a bunt. And it's a good bunt. It's in fair territory, fielded by Jake Geary. Plays it on to first base. Runner moves down to second. No time at bat on the sacrifice bunt.
This is really a good play by Gary. The ball's punted quite well. He has to get his body turned around, and he gets the throw right on the money to Nolan Walker. Very good bunt.
Sacrifice bunt puts men at second and third base. No time at bat, 2-3 on the putout. And Jordy McDougal is the batter, right-hand hitting third baseman. Boy, he was absolutely scintillating last night with a leather. He did a beautiful job.
He made a great catch out there.
Stole a base hit away from one of the prospects. There he waves at a hook, and the count at strike one. 361 hitter Jordy McDougall. 3 hits last night. Stroked a single down the left field line, hit another one between short and third, and then he pulled the trigger on a pitch and belted a 2-base hit in the 6th inning and came around to score. Amazing how with some ball players, when the leather gets good, so does the bat.
Yeah, they just get it relaxed, get in the groove, and you need that. You need to be in an optimum feeling to do the job.
This should do it. Slow ground ball wide of third base. And right on target is the throw from Davis Pratt. As Miller Express here strand 2 base runners, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 men stranded. 1/2 inning is in the books. And this is Prospects Baseball on ICU Video. Bottom half of the 1st inning, we're going to have Jeff Nicolosi pitching tonight for the Miller Express. He's out of Sterling, Connecticut. 5'10", 175-pound right-hander. A sophomore out of Mitchell College. And we'll take a look at the seasonal totals for this young right-handed pitcher. Nicolosi will make his 7th appearance, his 6th start. He's been a workhorse on this ball club, 27 innings of pitching, 23 hits. He's given up 11 runs. They're all earned, 8 base on balls, 12 strikeouts. Logs a 1-loss record of 1-2. An earned run average of 3.66. The Western Canada Baseball League is hitting a collective 240 of Jeff Nicolosi. Just looking at his pitching mechanics as he gets the rudimentary 8 warm-up throws. Great starting pitching last night. The Miller Express, Blake Gallagher, 5'10" right-hand pitcher out of Fredericton, New Brunswick. 6-inning distance, 4 earned runs, 8 hits, 8 strikeouts. Pitched ahead in the count pretty much all night. He only walked 1 batter. Some nights you're going to win, some nights you're going to lose, but if you throw the ball in the strike zone, you got a chance.
And if you don't throw the ball in the strike zone, you have very little chance. And this is the thing all coaches are looking for, and we've seen an awful lot of that with Hunter Boyd. In the last 2 games Hunter Boyd's played, the people he's gone against have been that way. So it's been very good pitching duels.
Marcus Menendez behind the plate, McDougall at third, Dahl at first, Garza the shortstop, Campbell at second, Dela Cruz, Marriott, and Borst left to right in the outfield this evening. We're at about 60 degrees Fahrenheit tonight, an overcast but not particularly threatening sky, very little wind. And the first pitch to Brendan Luther is a breaking ball strike, 0-1. A 300 batter standing in, front foot open, midway in the batter's box, big knee bend. From the set position, here's the pitch. Runs a breaking ball right into the wheelhouse. A swing and a miss, 0-2. Big slow curveball. Davis Pratt and Travis Hunt also due up here in the home half of the 1st inning. The big ballpark in Edmonton, 420, straightaway center field. Very few ballparks in the big leagues that are 420 up the middle. 340 down the left field line, 320 up the line and right. Big gap out in right center field. It is probably about 360, 370 feet from the back point of home plate.
And this is a ballpark that outfielders absolutely love because they really get a chance to show their speed, how to play angles, and so on. Those tight parks are tough to play in.
They're tough to pitch in, I can tell you that.
They sure are.
Those small little parks, about all you can really do is throw sinker balls and try to keep the ball on the ground.
That's it. You should pitch everything low. Yeah, this is going to sound a little funny, but I look at Nicolosi and I look how he works. He reminds me a little of Hunter Boyd. He's stocky and he works pretty quick.
He works right off the first base side of the pitching slab. He delivers. Throws an off-speed pitch down and away. The count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here to Brendan Luther, a 300 batter. He only had 3 at-bats last night, 2 plate appearances. And he came around to score a run, and he knocked a run in.
He's having a fair at-bat here. He's got 5 pitches thrown, 1 ball and 4 for strikes, but he's really making Nicolosi work. And when you start this early in the game, it can pay off down the road.
And the 1-2 pitch. Got it on the fists, and the ball's popped up. It won't clear the infield. It is just in foul territory. And McDougall is there to make the snag. One away.
Like you say, got it in on the hands, and very nice, easy pop-up.
Davis Pratt is the batter, hitting .235 on the season. Had him in the 8-hole last night. They moved him up to the 2 spot tonight. He had 2 hits. Reached base on an error. Got a run batted in for it. And he is the batter, shows the button. He takes a strike to the outside corner. And we're at 0-1. Other games tonight. Moose Jaw in Edmonton, of course. Yorkton Cardinals are in Swift Current. And Weyburn is at Siemens Stadium in Okotoks. Now, if you ever have a chance to get down that way, you've never been to the ballpark in Okotoks, go see it. If you go down Highway 2 south of Calgary, it's the second exit onto your right. And a gorgeous, gorgeous park. That's all I can say. From the set position, here's the 0-2. Down and away. And each and every year, they just jam that park. I was there to broadcast a game on radio a few years ago, and this was the weekend of that huge flood in Calgary.
Right.
And it was sold out. I mean, that Highwood River was overflowing its banks.
Highwood can really get rolling, too.
And the 1-2 pitch. That'll miss.
You know, years ago, I used to ride up in the headwaters of the Highwood, do a little fishing up there, and with friends, and beautiful, beautiful country up there. But when it rains hard, that place can flood so fast. There's a heck of a drop there. So
I'll tell you what, if somebody was going to write me a check and say you can go live anywhere in Alberta you want except where you live now, it'd be Longview. That is just gorgeous, gorgeous country.
Home of Tommy Buse.
Home of Ian Tyson.
Yeah, that's right.
And the 3-2 pitch, taking it up the middle. It's a looping fly ball and an easy catch here for Eric Marriott. 2 gone in the inning. When you follow that Highway 22 south, that's called the Cowboy Trail, and for good reason. And it'll bring you out, well, I guess between Pincher Creek and the Crow's Nest Valley a little bit. But that is just unbelievable, gorgeous country.
When you come down off of there, off that Cowboy Trail, to your east, that's the Porcupine Hills, right along that ridge. That I would love someday just to ride that because it's just south of Calgary, all the way down by Pincher Creek. Beautiful country in there.
Strike to the batter, 0-1. Now they had the big fires in that area 2 falls ago, and I've been through that area a number of times. And our family farm's been around since 1902. Well, we're neophytes compared to some of those ranches there. They go back into the 1860s and 70s.
Yeah.
Here's the kick and the strike 1 pitch, and it's upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Got her up high. That's some beautiful country.
Bar U Ranch, the historic site.
Bar U, yeah.
Back in the 1870s, a group of cattlemen got together. They brought in 4 shorthorn bulls, started that herd. In its height, there were 25,000 range cattle. And in that high grass, that's all they did is walk and eat.
And that old natural grass down there was so full of protein. You never saw fatter cattle, even though you and I were not around then.
Travis Hunt is the batter. He's going about as good as anybody in the prospect order, hitting a .373 clip. There he took a rip right from the heels on a breaking ball. Fouled it back into the paraphernalia of the catcher, Marcus Menendez. I'll tell you one thing, all the disciplines you have to be a baseball player depends on the position. One thing for sure, if you want to be a catcher, if you aren't tough, forget about it.
That's exactly right. He took that right off the right foot. You know that has to hurt. You look how that padding is. He had that foot turned a little bit out, so it must have come right off the inside of the foot.
See what the umpire is doing right here. He just took a walk for no other reason than to give Menendez a chance to try to walk that thing off. A good umpire will do that. I met Ray Fosse one time when the Oakland A's played an exhibition game up here. Ray works on the broadcast telecast of the Oakland A's, and he was the guy that got cut in two by Pete Rose in the All-Star game. I mean, cut in two. And really, there's no reason for that in an All-Star game. Now, you're going to get clobbered if you don't have the proper technique. You've got to give the runner a little bit of the plate to aim for, usually the back point of home plate. If you don't, you're going to get your clock cleaned. It's that simple.
That's exactly
when
right.
you're catching, unless the ball has hit the left field, if it's up the middle or to the right, you're going to be blindsided. You can take one sneak look at the pitcher or the runner coming, then you got to look at the ball.
Absolutely, and you know, one of the biggest things, you get a guy like Pete Rose. He only played one way, and it didn't. All-Star game. If he walked on that field, there's only one way to play.
People say what they like about him. He's the only player in big league history. Well, he has more hits than anybody else to begin with. He was an all-star in 5 different positions. Left field when he was a kid, third base, second base, first base. I guess that's only 4 positions. There's a great trivia question when he got the base hit to eclipse the mark held by Ty Cobb. It came off a pitcher named Eric Chow that we used to see in the Coast League with the Hawaii Islanders. There's a 3-2 pitch, and he got all of this, and he turned that one right around. That ball's got a little bit of carry to it, and you're going to wave it goodbye. A home run on a 3-2 pitch to Travis Hunt. He makes 4 left turns, and that ball is still carrying. It's out in the stratosphere.
We'll get the replay on this. You'll see he gets it up a little bit over the middle of the plate, and Travis Hunt made absolutely no mistake on this. There it is, up and in, and it's gone.
Over the wall and gone in left field, and a 1-0 Prospect lead as Travis Hunt collects the home run. That's his 4th big fly ball of the season. He's got a swing just about as pure as the driven snow.
He really does, and it's fun to watch him just play the game because he plays the outfield very well also. Excellent arm, very accurate, strong, and he can run like the wind.
And here's the pitch on the way, a fastball to the outside corner. Scores we got tonight from the WNBL. Well, actually, this is from yesterday. And as we told you, it was a split of a doubleheader between Regina and Lethbridge. The Swift Current Melville ball game was postponed due to rain. They got some rain yesterday in the Canadian Football League game in Regina that was delayed 2.5 hours. Lightning, rain.
Yeah. They won't delay it with rain, but boy, you get any lightning around, they're going to send the teams off right now.
Nicolosi ready to go. And here comes the pitch. That was a breaking ball. It took a little off the pitch. A nice slow curve ball in there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A run in, 2 away.
Here we got another picture of the home run. See how the ball got up into the inside and how he jumped on it? Just overpowered the ball.
Here's the windup by Nicolosi. He overthrew the fastball. It's up high on the target. Go to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Game 3 tomorrow night, then it's on the road. Medicine Hat on Thursday and Friday. The Okotoks Dogs will be back here on Saturday night, and the All-Star game on Sunday afternoon. We will be telecasting that game for you. 4:05 opening pitch. With an inside-out swing, this ball's looped out into left field. Here's Dela Cruz drifting towards the foul chalk to make the catch, and that will set down the side. One sweet swing of the bat by Travis Hunt. Pulls his 4th home run of the season. A run on a hit, no errors. Nobody left on base. And this is Edmonton Prospects baseball from Remax Field and ICU Video. 1-0, the Prospects lead on the home run that you saw just a few minutes ago by Travis Hunt. And he really clobbered the pitch, nailed it over the wall in left field. So a spot here for the pitcher, Austin Kennedy. Now got a run to work with. Kennedy faced 5 batters in the first inning. Surrendered a couple of hits, got a ground ball out to set down the side. And it'll be Cole Warkin, the designated hitter, lead things off, 305 batsman for the Miller Express. Zach Campbell and Dougie Dela Cruz are the batters up, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the Moose Jaw order here in inning number 2. High leg kick and the pitch on the way. It's a fastball upstairs. We go to 1 ball and no strikes. Middle infield's going to play fully back. They'll be about midway on the corners. The outfield is straight away. And the pitch is right down Broadway. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the big leagues tonight, as we told you, the Blue Jays were trailing the Boston Red Sox 4-0 after a couple of innings. The ball game being played tonight at the Sky Dome. There's a breaking pitch, swing and a miss. Miami's at Washington. The Cubbies tonight are at Pittsburgh. Milwaukee's at Cincinnati. Baltimore at Tampa Bay. The Yankees and the Mets play at the National League Ballpark in New York. Philadelphia at Atlanta. The Angels tonight are in Texas. That'll be a twin bill. Breaking ball and a good one. Nice spin, nice break, a swing and a miss. Houston's at Colorado. Detroit plays the White Sox. The Indians are at Kansas City. Minnesota's at Oakland. St. Louis Cardinals are in Seattle. The Giants in San Diego, and the Arizona Diamondbacks will play the Dodgers. Strikeout numero uno on the night for Austin Kennedy.
Now his breaking ball on that, he was dropping them right off the table. That strikeout pitch was a beauty on the outside corner.
Zach Campbell is the batter up. It's a high hopper up the middle. If it had been fielded at the mound by Kennedy, he'd had an out, but that ball was just beyond his grasp. A high hopper up the middle for a base hit. Just eluded his glove.
Kennedy just had to be a couple inches taller. That's actually a good hit.
You got to remember now, when the pitcher delivers that ball, he's nowhere near 60 feet 6 inches. He's more like about 55 feet, 56 feet. And especially on a turf like this, that gets to you in a nanosecond. That's why they call it the gun barrel.
It sure does, and he's also coming down off that mound. So here we're going to see this off the center field camera, that hit. You see how he gets down off it, and boom, just right up over the top.
Dela Cruz the batter, and it's a bouncing ball to the right side. Luther on to Ramirez, and the throw is off target at first base. They will get Zach Campbell erased at second base. I'm going to have a look at that on replay. I'm not sure they started the runner. I think they did. And Marcus Menendez will be the batter. He's batting .065, so he's getting a little bit of work in the batting cage. Kennedy comes set and delivers. Breaking ball is low to the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. The runner at first base is Dougie Dela Cruz. Got a very short lead taken off the bag. Both feet on the cutout. And he doesn't extend his feet when the pitcher comes set. So he's not going anywhere, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. Just under 5,000 here last night. They had a whale of a time. It was a nice ball game, a prospect victory. Broke it open when they were able to get into the bullpen. A nice musical interlude with the Whiskey Boys, followed by the City of Edmonton fireworks show. Shot off a lot of rockets, about 20 minutes worth.
They really did, and you know, Al, I told you earlier, when I drove home out of here, it took me over 30 minutes just to get to 62nd Avenue. The crowd up on the hill that was watching the fireworks was tremendous.
Well, they're too cheap to buy a ticket, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Up on Scotchman's Hill.
Yeah.
3 balls and a strike to Marcus Menendez.
With this batting average, you don't want to walk this man. You want to get him to make contact.
And a breaking ball for a strike. A great story about July 4th, though. When we were with the Angels years ago, they had a short season, or a long season A club at a place called Quad Cities, the Quad City River Bandits, which means there's 4 cities, and I think it's in 3 different states. Davenport, Iowa is where the ballpark was. There was Moline, Illinois. And so they're playing the game. And over there, they don't have the long late nights like we have here. That sun goes down fairly quick. Here's the full count pitch. Ball is belted into left field. So they got the good crowd. It's July 4th, fireworks show. And of course, the county and the city were paying for the fireworks, not the ball club. So it's about the 6th inning. Fireworks start, so they turn the lights off. And there's a break in the game. And then when the fireworks show was over with, everybody up and left with 3 innings of baseball left to play.
Oh, boy.
Eric Marriott is the batter up. And he is 1 for 1 tonight. Got some bases occupied. 2 runners on with 2 away. High and outside, ball 1. Tim Flannery, I knew him a little bit. He was a pretty good middle infielder, utility guy with the Padres in the big leagues, and he was managing a Las Vegas club when I knew him. And he was telling of a night they were just a lousy team. They were like 40 and 120 at the end of the year, playing at Jack Murphy Stadium. And one night they had a big comeback. They came back with 7 runs in the bottom half of the 9th inning, tied the game up. And after the game, the Doobie Brothers were in concert. So what do the fans do? They booed the Padres for tying it up and delaying the concert. And the 2-0 pitch. Ground ball, fair at first base. Walker up with it, and he'll make the unassisted put out and retire the side. Yeah, you come back, played 8 runs, tie the game up, and your fans boo you for it.
Oh, boy. They wanted the concert.
0-2-0-2 the line totals. 1 1/2 innings in the books, a 1-0 Prospect lead. This is Prospect Baseball on ICU Video. On to the home half of the 2nd inning, and Jake Geary, Prospect catcher, will lead things off, a .313 batter. Last night, Geary was in the 1st inning. He reached base on a fielder's choice. Infield hit, scored a run in the 4th, struck out looking in the 5th. Produced a run with a fly ball out in the 7th inning. Knocked in a pair of runs with a single to left field his last time up. Pretty productive night. And I thought between him and Hunter Boyd, they went together like ham and eggs. They pretty much had a game of catch.
They really did. And as we were talking about earlier, I think that Jake only had to block maybe 1 ball in the dirt last night.
He could have caught that game in a rocking chair.
Oh, exactly. Boyd was sharp. Although if you talked to Hunter after the game, he said he didn't think he was real sharp early, and that 2nd inning gave him trouble. But, you know, he's one of those young men that gets tougher. When the game gets tough, he gets tough. I think Jake Geary is a lot like that, but Jake is freshman in university, and Hunter Boyd is graduating. So it's difference in maturity.
And we are underway here in the bottom of 2. Jeff Nicolosi on the bump, and he throws the first pitch strike, 0-1. Corey Davis tonight, the plate umpire. Jim Crawford at first base. And Tyler Bourne is the umpire working at 3rd. The windup, and the 0-1 delivery. Throws a spinner, down and away. Appeal at first base, no swing, go to 1 ball, 1 strike.
That was a very good breaking ball, and Gary had to show some real good patience on that pitch. That's one that lots of times they'll get you chasing.
And here's the pitch. Got that one up a little bit into the strike zone. There's another breaking ball, 1-2.
Nice job by the catcher, Mendez, framing that ball. He helped his pitcher out a lot.
And here's the 1-2 delivery. It's down the middle but low. We go to 2 balls and 2 strikes. The leadoff batter is Jake Geary. A 2-out solo home run by Travis Hunt. And he cashes in his 4th big fly ball of the season. That's where we sit. A 1-0 ball game. And the 2-2 pitch. High and outside on a check swing. A little bit of rain to get this one underway tonight. We were a little late getting underway, 20 minutes late due to the sun shower.
Nicolosi's done really well with a breaking ball, and I expect we'll see that here.
Ball 4. Jake Geary is aboard. Javier Ramirez will be the batter up. And he laid down just a beautiful little bunt last night. He bunted it for a base hit, moved his runners along.
It's sure fun when you see that one. A man can bunt the ball real well, whether it be a drag bunt or a push bunt, but does it well enough that he beats it out to first base.
Now in this instance, if you even just show the bunt, your 3rd baseman McDougal's going to have to come in a couple of paces.
That's right.
shorten the middle infield up just a little bit, more towards a double play depth. The outfield is straight away. And the throw on to first base.
Nice quick move by Nicolosi.
Eric Crane, the designated hitter, watches from the on-deck circle. And back on to first base. Miller Express tonight with the black stirrups. A brilliant yellow top, black trim. Prospects in their home whites. Wore the red Canada Day jerseys last night.
That was a sharp jersey.
Ball is hit back to the mound. They'll throw to first base. I thought that ball was hit on a bounce, obviously not a line drive. Some days don't pay to get out of bed. Ramirez makes pretty good contact, but lines this one back into the catcher's glove, and that's an easy double play. Eric Crane will be the batter up. That's part of the quirk of the game of baseball. You can have a real good at bat and just get an out. You can have a terrible at bat and get a hit.
It really is, and that was a very hard hit ball. Nice play by Nicolosi, staying with it, getting the double play.
There's a slider in there for a strike, 0-1.
Here comes the center field. Look at that. Watch this ball, how boom, it's drilled. And just nice, easy play over to first. Line shot like that, the runner's going. He's not sitting waiting.
"12-2 ball game last night. The Prospects won it in front of 4,984 at the ballpark. In a 2-hour and 50-minute game. Breaking pitch, a swing and a miss. Count of 1-2.
Nicolosi is showing real nice control with his curveball tonight, and it seems to be his best pitch going. A little bit wild with his fastball.
And here's the 1-2 delivery. And right back with that breaking ball, straight overhand curve, a swing and a miss. There you get a look at it. Bottom fell right out of that hook. And that is strikeout number 1 on the night for the young right-hander. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Down to the field of play, and here's Andrew Peard.
Thank you, Al. And just some stuff from yesterday, Canada Day game. Of course, like you mentioned, the Prospects a 12-2 win. And for the Prospects, I mean, it's almost like going into a convenience store already with the winning lottery numbers in their back pocket and buying a lottery ticket on Canada Day. That was their 3rd straight July 1st win. And overall, the last 7 they've hosted dating back to 2012, they are 6-1. The only loss coming back in 2016 to the Regina Red Sox. Also, Hunter Boyd picked up the win, 7 innings, 10 strikeouts. He now leads the WCBL in innings pitched with 43, top 5 in many of the other major statistical categories. The interesting thing about Hunter Boyd is back when he was 8 years old, he shattered the growth plate in his right wrist, his throwing arm, and was forced to have surgery every year for 8 years. He'd do it during the winter to go in and have it repaired every time he grew, and turned into, I guess, a bionic arm for him. If you want to hear that full story, he joined Dean Millard on the Prospects podcast back a couple weeks ago. You can find that podcast at deanmillard.ca. Guys, back up to you.
All right, thank you very much. Now come on into Jiffy Lube today for a Pennzoil fully synthetic oil change. No appointment necessary, warranty approved, earn airline reward miles, and a $100 travel credit. Details at jiffylubeservice.ca. Andres Garza will be the batter to lead things off, hitting out of the 2 spot tonight. Michael Borst and Darryl Dahl will be the batters up. 1-0, Prospects lead, top half of the 3rd inning, about set to get underway. Davis Pratt up wide of the bag at 3rd. Walker is midway at 1st. They're fully back on the middle infield, and this little looper is going to get caught on the run by Travis Hunt. Threw a beat on that ball.
You know, when you watch this, Al, you don't see it right off the bat, but when that ball comes off the bat, Hunt is moving. He read it right away, had the trajectory right over by the line, and it looks easy. but it's not that easy to do.
Michael Borst will be the batter up. You heard that story about Hunter Boyd's injury earlier in his career. And occasionally you'll have something like that. And very seldom is going to help you, but there is one story where it did, and this goes back a long time ago. It was a pitcher at the big leagues, and it was Mordecai Brown, and he had an industrial accident in the offseason, and he lost 2 fingers. So all he had is a thumb and 2 fingers to work with. They called him Mordecai Three-Finger Brown. But somehow he used that to his advantage. I don't know how he did it. Obviously didn't throw any palm balls, but
yeah.
After an accident like that, and he went on to pitch and pitched in the big leagues. We go low, 2 balls and no strike on Michael Borst, 367 batter.
Sometimes when you have an athlete who has a tremendous drive, that even makes their drive stronger when they have some type of injury.
2 balls and no strikes. Pitches in the dirt, go to ball 3. I was just a kid, and you'd remember this. He was a quarterback with the Montreal Alouettes. He was cross-eyed and pigeon-toed, and he won a Grey Cup. His name was, I was trying to think of his name, Sonny Wade.
Yeah, Sonny Wade had a tremendous arm. Straight drop-back passer. Montreal had a lot of those. Go back to Sam Etcheverry.
And the pitch is there for a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike on Michael Borst. 1 away, and the base is empty in the top of the 3rd inning. It's comfortable now to the ballpark. Not warm. A few scattered clouds overhead. A little bit of rain fell earlier in the day. Temperature about 60 Fahrenheit. Strike on the outside corner. Full count. 3-2.
Borst doesn't like that call, but it looked like it was there. We've talked about this before. As long as the umpires are consistent in their strike zone, the batters don't mind too much.
Ball slapped to the left side. A high hopper here for the little shortstop Ramirez. Draws a beat on first base and is right on target. 2 gone.
Now, Borst got pretty good speed, and a little hitch from Ramirez there, and he almost got beat by the runner, but he got her over there.
Darryl Dahl with a sacrifice bunt his first time up. He had a tough night at the plate last night. He was the first, the 4th, and the 8th strikeout of Hunter Boyd, and he bounced out his last time through. And here's the pitch to him. Austin Kennedy with a low fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. Kennedy making his 4th start here tonight out of Clayton, California. Pitch upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Prospects are back to a .500 record, 14 victories, 14 losses, 7.5 games back, 2 straight ball games, and 4 wins, 6 losses in their last 10. So they've hit a kind of a slow spot there in their season as this ball is belted out into right center field. That might score the run. Well, it won't score the run. That's going to be pulling into second base. That'll be a double. That ball was kissed right on the screws at Travis Hunt to chase that one down in the right field gap.
He popped this good right in the middle of the gap. Good angle, definitely a double.
Jordy McDougal, the batter up. Bounced out his first time through, but he hasn't bounced out a whole lot this season, hitting .361. Tying run at second base with 2 out here in the top of 3. Kennedy works out of a high set from the set position. Breaking ball, a swing and a miss, strike 1.
Now it's interesting, twice in this inning, Kennedy's got behind the batter. When he gets that first strike, he's pretty tough.
There's a ball that's snubbed out in front of home plate. It appears to be in fair territory. Jake Geary winds it up, lets it fly, 2-3 on the putout. And that will retire the set. That ball nubbed out in front of home plate. No runs. after a 2-out double. No errors, one man stranded. Got a good pitching duel going here tonight. 1-0 the Prospects lead through 2.5 innings. And Prospects baseball right here on ICU Video. On to the bottom half of the third inning. And Grayson Barrett, Pierce Blohowiak, and Brendan Luther. Menu of batters that'll be faced here by Jeff Nicolosi.
You just went 3 for 3, Katie. You're going to go home with $20.
Walked the leadoff batter in the second inning. And then got a line drive double play to get out of the kettle. Struck out Eric Crane, retired the side. So except for the home run ball, he's only faced one batter over the minimum through the opening 2.
And it's amazing how one swing of the bat can change the tenor of the game very quickly.
Leading off for the Prospects, left field, number 34, Grayson Barrett.
And Grayson Barrett, the leadoff hitter. Middle game of the 3-game series. We'll wrap it all up tomorrow night, 7:05 contest. Then the Prospects on the road. The Medicine Hat Thursday and Friday. Back home here to the Okotoks Dogs Saturday. And then the All-Star game Sunday afternoon. Home Run Derby at 2 p.m. And the Wago itself get underway at 4:05. Bouncing ball to the right-hand side. You got one away. No, they say doubleheader in Mexico. Ducks Wago. Wago means game.
Yeah, Dos Wago.
Ducks means 2. I know that term and I know cerveza. That's about it.
That's all you have to know.
Un cerveza or pavor. Here's Pierce Blohowiak, the 256 batter. Hitting out of the 9 spot tonight. Nicolosi rocks on the rubber and the pitch down and away. 1 ball, no strikes.
This is a young man that like to get on base. Got excellent speed.
Pitch is low to the strike zone. 2 balls and no strikes.
I don't think Pierce has a high batting average. Says he's down
256.
256. Not a great hitter, more of a spray hitter, but he does have good plate presence, and he will draw walks.
Go to 2 balls, 1 strike. Nicolosi done a nice job of eating up innings. He leads this ball club with 27 innings pitched going into play tonight. That's over 5 starts and 6 appearances in total. And a 3.66 earned run average. And that is one thing you like. You like your starting pitchers that can eat up innings. If you get a struggling starting rotation, it won't take very long. You're going to have hanging arms in your bullpen.
You sure will. They get working too much, and that's why, for the Prospects, why Hunter Boyd and Taryn Olton are so important.
3-1 pitch and the ground ball to the shortstop, Garza. Throw was a little bit off target. The umpire's call, though. That says Darren Dahl held his foot onto the bag. And you got 2 away.
Well, this is close. A good throw, a little high, and that's what I thought he might have been off. But we can't see it from there, and the umpire's right there. So 6-3.
Like when you watch a big league ball game, you're going to see 5 starters, 5 relievers. That sounds like a lot, but really it isn't.
No.
Sometimes you'll watch and you'll see a starting pitcher get left in for a couple innings when he didn't have his good stuff, and the reason for that is the manager just didn't have any choice. Maybe he went to his relief pin early the last couple of evenings before that. And some nights you just got to wear it. And it happens in the big leagues. It happens in this league.
Yeah. Well, we saw it last night with the last reliever for Moose Jaw. And they weren't putting anybody else in the bullpen.
That's how sometimes ball games get ugly. You get a pitcher that struggles. And all of a sudden you're way ahead or you're way behind. Well, what you're going to do then is after your starter is done, you're going to put your lesser light pitchers in. You just are. You're going to get them work on a night where it's going to be hard for you to lose or it's going to be hard for you to win. And here Brendan Luther about snared that one out of the catcher's mitt, and he lines himself a base hit into right.
Now batting, third base, number 14, Davis.
Davis Pratt will be the batter. Like when we were in independent professional baseball, we signed a couple of kids every year. They were usually lefties. And we had them in for just that certain situation. They could eat up innings. It wasn't pretty, but they were usually just a little rubber arm left-hander, something like that. It's going to be a long night here, folks, so settle in. But that's what they could do. They could eat up innings. They weren't pretty innings. They had earned run averages that are still going. You got to get an out to stop the earned run average from climbing. Runner goes. Here's the throw on a second base. Slap tag by Garza, the shortstop, coming over. And because of that, with a headlong slide to the bag, Brendan Luther has got a stolen base. Big looping curveball was the pitch. That throw is probably going to get him if he holds on to it.
Even though the throw was high, it was in time, and they would have had him. It was perfect timing on the throw by Mendez. Now, it's such a fine point between getting the runner and not getting them.
0-1 is the count. And a breaking ball, big slow jug, and it's a swing and a miss, strike two. Big overhand curveball. Well, half the bag is stolen on the pitcher, the other half comes on the catcher. And you got to come out of your crouch, pivot your left foot forward, crank your right arm up a little bit, just whiz it past your ear. You've got to have a strong arm to be a catcher. You don't have that big windup.
That's exactly right. And to throw past that mound and get it down on the bag is difficult.
There's a ball that's belted out into right center field. That will score the run. Motoring on into the alley is Michael Borst to make the grab. That'll be a long single and a run batted in. How big is that stolen base now?
That stolen base was huge. I was just going to say that, and the importance of it, the base hit scores the run. And look who's coming up.
Travis Hunt, the batter. He dialed 8 his last time up, a 2-out solo shot, his 4th home run of the season. Pretty much gone from the crack of the bat.
I suspect that Nicolosi is going to be pitching him down and away. Got that ball up and in a little bit last time, and it was pretty quickly over the fence.
Prospects have a left-hander up in the bullpen. I don't think it has anything to do with this ball game. It's probably a starter getting a side piece 2 days after a start. Remember a couple of years ago, the deciding game of the World Series, Kansas City Royals, San Francisco Giants. I'm just trying to think of the name of that outstanding Giant left-hand pitcher. We'll get to that in a little bit. This should do it. It's a high fly ball in left center field. Eric Marriott runs the route to the ball, makes the catch, and that will retire the side. The Prospects, though, with a good inning. They score a run. They do it on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 2.5 innings in the books. They get a full 3 innings done and a 2-0 Prospect lead. This is Prospect Baseball on ICU Video. On to the 4th inning of play, Cole Workin struck out on a breaking ball his first time up. He'll lead things off, batting out of the 6th spot on the order with the Miller Express. He's a .305 batter. Got him penciled in as the designated hitter tonight. Austin Kennedy, big, long, tall right-handed pitcher. Slider away, 1 ball and no strikes. It was the last game of the World Series. Kansas City had a real good club, so did the San Francisco Giants. Obviously, it's a World Series. And Baumgartner, the big left-hander, had pitched 2 days earlier, so they were going to have him throw a side piece, which is what you normally do. Just so happens, though, that they needed a relief pitcher, and he's a starter, but he was ready for his 50-pitch side piece, so they brought him into the ball game. He went through that Royals order like hot knife through butter, pitched the final 4 innings, and the Giants went away with the World Series.
He was such a strong pitcher. And that's one thing I always remember about him. He's a very, very strong man. As innings went on, he seemed to get tougher.
And you've got nothing to leave on the table because there's a 6-month off season, so you throw it all out there and let her go. The ball cued foul at first base off the barrel of the bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes here on Cole Workin.
Now, we've talked about this before, 2-2 situation. Pitcher usually coming with what he feels is his best pitch today. And it looks like it's been the breaking ball for Austin Kennedy.
There's a line drive. That was fielded in fair territory. Here's the throw, and the man covering not in time. A line drive off the glove of Nolan Walker. He tried to hit his pitcher, Austin Kennedy, but that's a long shot at best. He holds on to that ball, he's got it out, but he did put the leather on it in fair territory. You score that, I guess, an infield hit.
Now there's also a situation, and you can't blame Austin Kennedy on it, but he'll be upset with himself because if he had broken earlier for first base, he'd have made that play. I suspect he might have thought that was a foul ball.
It probably was ticketed for foul territory, but leather was put on it in fair territory.
Exactly.
Pitch down and away, 1 ball and no strikes here to Zach Campbell, who hit a high upper up the middle for a base hit back in the second inning. Long stride home from Kennedy, and the pitch on the fists and a bouncing ball. Foul of the chalk at first base, 1 ball, 1 strike. Get road trip ready with a fully synthetic Pennzoil oil change at Jiffy Lube. Get a $100 travel credit. Good for car rentals, hotel, theme parks, and a whole lot more. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving all summer long. Pitch is high and outside, a ball in the strike. Tomorrow night in the Western Canada Baseball League, Weyburn at Okotoks, Medicine Hat's Swift Current, Lethbridge in Brooks, and Yorkton is in Regina. That's the second of that 2-game series. Medicine Hat and Swift Current, not a whole lot more than an hour and a half drive apart. They probably don't even overnight there. Just
that's right.
Go back and, boy, that's nice. Get your own bed. There's a line drive slapped up the middle. Zach Campbell is aboard. Tying run is at first base. And Dougie Dela Cruz, a .302 batter, will be the hitter up. Hit the ball where it was pitched and lined a base hit up the middle.
I'm wondering, I'm looking at that left-hander warming up in the bullpen. I think that what Coach Blundell has looked at is that Austin Kennedy might only go 3 or 4 innings.
Pitch in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. Nobody out and 2 men aboard here in the 4th inning. Now he's just joined the club recently. And, I don't know, maybe his arm's not fully stretched out.
Could be in, where he comes from. It was a little bit warmer, so he might be a little cool.
There's a foul tip. Go to a ball and a strike. Take a look at the leaders up in the major leagues. East Division, New York Yankees, 6.5 game lead, 54-28, 9-1 in their last 10 ball games. They're smoking hot. Tampa Bay will probably get in there as a wild card, 49-36. They're 13 games better than 500 and 6.5 games back. The ball raised out into right field into foul territory, and Travis Hunt and the first baseman Walker, and the ball falls in between them.
There was a lack of a call on that from what I see. When you see this happen, it drops in between them like this and nobody holds up. There was not a call between them.
That ball probably just got to get caught.
It should have been. But whoever was supposed to call it, usually it's the outfielder who would call it.
Well, it's easier for the outfielder coming in.
Easier coming in, that's right. And he should have called off the first baseman. Made the catch.
Here's the pitch to Dela Cruz. Fastball upstairs. Red Sox 11 back. The Blue Jays 23.5 games back. And what they've done there is they've got 7 ball players that weren't in the major leagues last year, pretty much starting every night this year. And that's a load of players to introduce. And it's either going to work out real well or not so well. But that's what they've done. They lost the entire left side of their infield. Donaldson was traded away, didn't want to play anymore. Tulowitzki got hurt. Pretty much a rejigged infield, a rejigged outfield, new catchers.
You know, the biggest thing they have to do is be patient with these young players. There's a lot of talent there, but you have to have the patience.
There's a wicked slider on the inside half of the plate for a called third strike. And that is strikeout number 2 for Canada. He needed that one.
He did, and that was an excellent pitch.
And Marcus Menendez, the catcher, the batter up. Baltimore in the cellar, 31 games back, and they'd be even worse than that if it wasn't for their manager, who, believe it or not, is a good manager, Buck Showalter.
He must be going crazy, though. He's a very competitive manager, very good teacher of the game. But to have a season like that has got to break your heart.
And the pitch is there for a strike.
Talking about breaking, that was an excellent breaking ball by Austin Kennedy.
Menendez is 1 for 1 here tonight. He punched a single into left field his opening time through. Cole Warkin, the lead runner. Zach Campbell takes his lead at first. Double play depth in the infield. The outfield is straight away. Kennedy steps off the rubber, looks his lead runner back. 843 assembled in the ballpark here tonight. And here's the 0-1 pitch on a check swing. It's foul to the backstop. Strike 2. Central Division, the Minnesota Twins could go wire to wire, 53-30. 8-game lead on the mighty Warriors of the Cuyahoga, the Cleveland Indians. Pale Hoser 13 back. The Bengals from Detroit 24 out. The Kansas City Royals, they're too busy beating themselves to beat somebody else. That's just what they're doing. They're 25 games back. There's a breaking ball, a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Austin Kennedy.
They're a wonderful breaking ball and just dropped her off.
And Eric Marriott is the batter up. Atlanta Braves led by a young Calgary right-handed pitcher named Soroka at 50-35. I don't think that kid has ever shaved. But he's got the second best earned run average in the National League, and he's going to be in the All-Star game. That's great to see.
And well deserved. He's having a tremendous season.
Barrett, 1 hit and 2 tries here tonight. We're in the top half of the 4th inning. Here comes the pitch. Slider is down and in. So the Atlanta Braves at 50-35, a 5.5 game lead on the Phillies. The Nationals are 7 back. The Mets 12 games out. And the Marlins are 16.5 games back. You know, we got one Florida team in the American League. They're talking about maybe playing half their games in Montreal. And the Florida Marlins, the other team, and they're both about dead last in attendance in the big leagues. Florida's a great place for spring training, but it's been a bit of a bust as far as the big leagues are concerned.
It has been, and you would think that they would draw better. Even when the Marlins had those good ball clubs, they did not draw well. And boy, they sure shed contracts fast, didn't they, Al?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
They had an inventory clear-out sale. Strike to the outside corner. And Kennedy is one good pitch away from putting the Miller Express to bed here in the 4th. Well, I've been to spring training in Florida and in Arizona. I much preferred Arizona. But you got to remember, too, that a lot of those people who come out to watch spring training baseball games don't live in Florida. There's a ball that's rocketed out of the ballpark, but it's going to be crooked and foul to the pole and out into the boulevard beyond. It was a changeup. He hung it and he got away with it.
He's very fortunate to get away with that because he got it out over the plate a little bit, and because of the change, the batter was out in front of the ball a little bit.
That relief pitcher, the left-hander, was up and throwing in the Edmonton bullpen, is now set down, so should he be needed, be loose and ready to go. Austin Kennedy ready. The pitch is a backdoor curveball. It's probably not in the strike zone, but it's a strikeout.
Boy, watch this pitch. He drops this right off. It was in the strike zone now. 3 straight Ks.
Strikes out the side after allowing 2 singles. And we'll move to the bottom half of the 4th inning in a 2-0 Prospects lead. Prospects baseball on ICU video. Bottom half of the 4th inning, Nolan Walker, cleanup batter here tonight, faced Jeff Nicolosi. He had 2 out in the 1st inning. He got a ball up to Travis Hunt, and he made him pay with his 4th big fly ball of the season. He had 2 out in the 3rd inning when he gave up a single to right field. And then Brandon Luther had a big steal at second base into scoring position And Davis Pratt scored him on a gap double on into right. So it was a gap single on the right. So that was a big 90 feet of real estate in this ball game.
It sure was. And now this is again the importance of it. If you look at it, Moose Jaw's out hitting the prospect 7-3. But it shows that when you get runners on base, you got to be able to get those timely hits to score them. And the prospects have been able to do that. And if you look at the number of runners that have been left on by the Moose Jaw, Miller Express, I expect they've left, what, 5 or 6 on base?
Seven runners stranded.
That's what drives coaches crazy. Yes.
You can get them on base, but you can't get them off. Here's the ball. It's pulled to the right side, fielded on one bounce by Campbell. Here does a full spin and a throw to the target. Nicely done by the second baseman. That's pretty good range into the outfield to his glove-handed side. Makes the full spin and throws a seed onto the bag.
Now, if you watch this, and I hope that Nolan takes a look at this, it looked like he admired that hit a little bit before he took off for first base. He might have beat it out if he'd have followed the hit and just gone.
Jake Geary is the batter with one gone and the base is empty here in the home half of the fourth inning. And here comes the pitch. He dragged his arm on that changeup, and the pitch is high, 1 ball and no strikes. 313 batters standing in. And the 1-0 delivery. Big soft curveball, swing and a miss.
Really nice pitch. Kept Gary off balance. Jake Gary is one of these freshmen that's playing, and if all the freshmen they have and sophomores come back next year, they're going to have a pretty solid ball club.
And here's the 1-1 pitch. In the middle half of the plate and a little bit low. Milwaukee Brewers with a 1-game lead in the Central Division of the National League with the Cubbies, managed by my old buddy Joe Madden. I was sure glad to see Joe win that World Series with the Cubs a couple of years ago. Here's the pitch, and it's a line drive right to the third baseman McDougal. 2 away. You know, the last time that the Cubs had won the World Series, up until a couple of years ago, it had to be the longest drought in all of North American pro sport history. There's no question about that. The Wright brothers had yet to take off in their airplane before the Cubbies won their last World Series. That's the truth.
You know, and the funny thing about that is, before that, everybody talked about how long the Red Sox drought was.
Yeah.
And actually, the Cubs were longer, by quite a bit.
I think the longest drought now is probably the Cleveland Indians. They last won it in 48. But I got to know Joe. He was a roving hitting instructor for the Angels in that decade we were with them, and just a big, good, positive guy. I mean, winning that World Series couldn't happen to a better guy.
Well, it's interesting how different types of managers suit certain types of teams, and he was perfect for that ball club.
I'll tell you this, if you can't play for Joe, you can't play. Count here of a ball and a strike on Javier Ramirez. 2 gone, bases empty. Last half of the 4th inning. They, in the early days of baseball, like that Cub club, had a double play combination. Tinkers to Evers to Chance is what they called it. Ogden Nash was a great sports writer. He said the saddest lexicon in all of baseball. Tinkers to Evers to Chance.
And
Johnny Tinker, Joe Ever, and Frank Chance.
And there's still people that have followed baseball for years and years and years. They still say that that is the best double play combination that's ever been.
I read a little bit about them. They did not particularly like each other, didn't hang out with each other off the field, but on the field, Tinkers, the shortstop, Evers, the second baseman, and Frank Chance at first. And the pitch is a strike on the inside corner of the plate, and that'll get it done. And that is strikeout number 2 here tonight for Jeff Nicolosi. And the prospects are out of business in the bottom half of the 4th inning, zeros across. 5th inning coming your way in just a bit. But right now, let's head down to the field and Andrew Peard.
Thank you very much, Al. Joined now by prospects manager Jordan Blundell. We'll start with your pitcher, Austin Kennedy. He's worked himself in and out of trouble very nicely tonight. Just what are you seeing from him?
Yeah, he's working quick. Like you said, he's worked himself into a little bit of trouble and then got out of it, made big pitches when you need to, and that's kind of the name of the game when you're on the mound.
Looks like you guys are starting to square up the ball a little bit better. What do you like from the approach so far tonight? Some good situational hitting.
Yeah, you know, we took advantage of a stolen base there. We had a big 2-out hit. That's something that we talk about as a team. We love to have 2-out hits, and I think there's more to come here. Their guys doing a really good job though, so we got to find a way to get another one here.
Thanks for this, Jordan. Best of luck rest of the way.
Thanks, Andrew.
Al, back up to you.
Well, thank you, Canley. We move on to the 5th inning, and Andres Garza is the shortstop, and he'll lead things off. 18 batters faced through the opening 4 innings by Austin Kennedy. A little something going in the 3rd. They had first and second base. Then Kennedy got tough. He got a called 3rd strike on Dela Cruz, a swinging strike on Marcus Menendez, and a swinging strike on a big slow curveball by Eric Marriott. So he got himself out of the kettle real nice in the 4th inning. Scattered 8 hits, but put up the goose eggs through the opening 4.
He's only thrown 59 pitches and done very well with it.
So like I said, the longest drought now in the big leagues would be the Indians. They last won it in 1948.
And I don't know if you remember this, Al, but one of their best ball players back then and was the first to break the color barrier in the American League was Larry Doby.
That's right, Larry Doby.
And boy, was he a ball player.
The shortstop was the playing manager. They actually had a playing manager that year, and that was Lou Boudreau, whose daughter married the last 30-game winner in the big leagues, Danny McLean, who I'm sorry to say is never going to be a Hall of Famer, but he certainly was a Hall of Shamer.
Boy, he was that. One thing he could do, though, he could throw heat.
Worked out of that big high leg kick. And that was on the 68 Tigers. The ball is knocked down at the mound. Won't be a play as Pratt comes over to get the rebound, a base hit, and a bullet up in the middle by Andres Garza.
Now, I would be taking a look at Austin Kennedy's hand on this. He catches this with his pitching hand. It might have caught on the fingers. He doesn't seem to be hurt much, but they're coming out to check. I think
that was a rocket coming back.
It was, and this is something that you don't want to mess with. That's why Jordan Blundell took one look at it and says, nothing wrong with him. He's ready to go. But that's what you want to do. You want to take that time, because if there is something, you throw a ball in there that you don't have control of that ball. It could go anywhere. It could hit somebody or put it right over the heart of the plate, get it drilled out of the park.
Michael Borst with a base hit up the middle and a ground ball out on the night. Man at first base on that infield single near in the top half of the 5th inning. And the pitch is a breaking ball, strike 1. Kennedy appears to be getting sharper as this game goes on.
He does, and his breaking ball seems to be breaking better as the game goes on.
It's a slap foul and out of play. I actually met a couple of the 48 Indians in my baseball travels. One was Bob Feller, the heater from Van Meter, Iowa. He came up here and put on an exhibition deal before a game where he got to throw balls to the local media. That's why I met Bob. And the other was a guy named Bob Kennedy, who was the farm director for the Astros. His son was maybe the premier catcher in the National League in the 80s, Terry Kennedy. He was a good receiver. And here's the 0-2 pitch.
There's an interesting story about Bob Feller when he was a young pitcher. They said, boy, he had heat. He would just deliver it. They said he's the fastest guy since Walter Johnson. Well, old Walter Johnson's from the old dead ball area.
Yeah,
but he was right there with Cy Young as far as being one of the greatest pitchers in the game. Well, Walter Johnson was still around at that time. And I think it was in let's get this fly ball.
Go on with your story.
And anyway, in spring training, Walter Johnson shows up with the Indians watching Feller, and they got out there and he started throwing with him. They're throwing side by side at different catches. Before long, Johnson is throwing heat and throwing faster than what Bob Feller was. And the interesting thing, they didn't have guns back then.
No.
They did not know what the speeds were of these guys. All they do when they asked Walter after, he said, well, could you pitch with him? He said, I'd last an inning.
When I met Feller, one thing that stuck out was the size of his mitt.
Oh, he's big.
He had a huge paw on him. And he wasn't the ace of the staff that year. The ace was a big left-handed knuckleballer named Gene Bearden. Guy that managed in the big leagues, Bob Lemon was on that crew. Guy that later became a big league GM, Al Rosen, was an outfielder. So what is that, 71 years without a taste of champagne for the Tribe. The ball that's between the wickets of Jake Geary. If we can get a look at that on the replay, see if that's a wild pitch or a pass ball. If it's in the dirt, it's a wild pitch.
I think this isn't
That's
the
a
dirt.
wild pitch, yeah.
But, you know, usually that's surprising to me because Jake is usually so good at blocking those. He gets that glove down and he gets the leg out quick, gets squatted down real well. That just snuck by him.
Darrell Dahl with a sacrifice bunt today, and he pulled a double up the right side. So he is 1 for 1. He represents the tying run at the plate. Ground ball back up the middle. Luther goes to his left to grab it. Throw is off target, and you'll have men at the corners.
Now, this is a tough play, but at the same time, you got to get that ball down on the bag. He had time to make the throw.
Tying run is aboard, and Jordy McDougal is the batter up. It's bounced out twice here tonight. This is where you want a 361 hitter. Takes a rip at the pitch, got a piece of it, fouled it back, strike one.
The interesting thing here is that, of course, the prospect's playing at double play depth, tried to turn two. With a batter like this, a very good hitter, consistent hitter.
And the ball is a squibber to the right-handed side. They'll get the sure out at first base. Sorenson will come in to score. That ball had a ton of English on it.
It did, and I think this is exactly the right play by the second baseman. Just looked over. He wasn't going to get him, get the out, give up the one run. It was the right play.
Cole Workin tonight with a scratch single and a strikeout, tying run at second base. Here in the top half of the fifth inning, one gone. The pitch, the fastball outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Workin, a 305 batter. Breaking ball, a swing and a miss, 1-1. You correctly pointed out that Larry Doby was the first black player in the American League with the Indians. Now, the last team in the American League to employ a black player was the Boston Red Sox. Do you have any idea who the player was?
I really don't.
His name was Elijah Pumpsy Green. It was a looping fly ball. The second baseman, Luther, there to grab it, and that will retire the side. A looping line drive to the right side of the infield. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. 1 man left on base. 4.5 innings through, and a 2-1 Prospect lead. This is Prospects Baseball on ICU Video. Eric Crane, the leadoff batter, here in the last half of the fifth inning. You face Jeff Nicolosi, who's quietly put together a nice ball game tonight. He's retired the last 4 batters that he's faced. Surrendered 2 runs, both of them earned. And he's done that on 3 hits. He's been right. Second consecutive night, the Moose Jaw Ball Club has got a real good start from their starting pitcher.
They have, and he's only thrown 52 pitches up to now. 31 strikes to 21 balls. You know, interesting, Al, you're talking about Cleveland Indians. We talk about Larry Doby being the first black player. That he was not the first black player signed by the Cleveland Indians. Do you know who that was?
He was offered a contract, but he didn't sign.
He signed, but he did not make the big club. He didn't get up there. He ended up playing in Regina. And then ended up.
I think I know the guy.
You know the guy very well. He ended up playing for the Edmonton Eskimos for a number of years. His name was Rolly Miles.
Wow. Why didn't he sign?
He wanted to play baseball. Of course, he was from Washington, D.C., and his brother Leo ended up being an NFL referee, and very good referee.
There's a broken bat ground ball up the right side, fielded by Dahl. He comes to the bag, and unassisted put out, one away. And the next time around, Eric Crane's going to have to go back to the woodpile.
Now batting left field, number 34, Grayson Barrett.
Grayson Barrett will be the batter. I remember Jackie Parker telling me that he just came to the Eskimos for 1 year, then he was going to go home and sign a baseball contract, but kind of liked it around here, so he stuck around.
Well, in those days, those fellas made more money than you made in the NFL. The CFL paid better.
I know, but Big League Baseball would have played better still.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rolly maybe should have signed that baseball contract. Grayson Barrett is the batter. As it was, I remember back in the 70s, he was the commissioner of the Alberta Major Baseball League.
He was, and very good at it. Rolly was a very special man. Superintendent of physical education for Edmonton Separate School Board. Just a wonderful guy.
A lot of those fellows that came up here in the 50s, and Johnny Bright was another one. Bob Dean, a Korean War vet, played for the Eskimos. And they stayed here, and they all had distinguished careers in education.
They did.
5 in a row set down by Jeff Nicolosi. Rocks into his windup, comes to the plate, threw the breaking ball down and in. Nicolosi making his 7th appearance, his 6th start. He's logged a lot of innings going into this inning now. He's got 31 1/3 innings of pitching on the season. 3.66 earned run average. Western Canada Baseball League hitting .240 off him. Grayson Barrett is the batter up, and here's the pitch to him. That's belt high and down the middle. Runs the count full. And here's the 3-2 pitch. And on the fists and a bouncing ball over towards the dugout off first base.
You know, an interesting thing about Johnny Bright, he was not only a tremendous football player, obviously, but he was also an outstanding fastball player.
Yeah, he was, yeah. Pitcher,
yeah. And basketball.
Off the head of the bat and a high pop fly. It's going to be foul of the chalk in left field down towards the bullpen. Giving chase is Doogie Delarez, but he just runs out of real estate. Ball's out of play.
Got up in behind.
That's Dougie Dela Cruz giving chase the left fielder.
Good hustle, but he's just about 6 feet away from it. It's tough to climb that railing.
2-1 ball game here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. 5 in a row set down by Jeff Nicolosi. A big right-hander up and throwing up, like a little long toss in the Moose Jaw bullpen. And here's the 3-2 delivery. It's on the outside half of the plate for a called strike. Grayson Barrett, I think, thought otherwise.
He sure did, and I don't know. I look at that pitch, and that looked like a pretty good strike to me. Started inside and broke late outside.
And Pierce Blohoyak, the batter up, bounced out his opening time through. .256 batting average coming into tonight's game. Wind up at the pitch. Fastball upstairs, ball 1.
Now, Pierce is a player that you love to get on base because of his speed. He can steal. If you get a base hit, he's going to take an extra base. Very aggressive.
Speed can be such a big part of the game. Now, if you got a team of sluggers, well, you don't worry about it. But 2 things. One is you can't teach speed. Either you got it or you don't. You can maybe tweak it a little bit. And speed never takes a slump.
No, that's exactly right. Unless you pull something. And then it takes a big slump.
And the 1-1 delivery. Too high, ball 2.
One thing Pierce has developed from high school through his freshman year at Yale and here, and we've seen a lot of it here, pretty good presence at the plate and will work the count.
2-1 pitch on the way, hit off the head of the bat. It's a fly ball. That ball is going to land perfectly between three outfielders, or two outfielders and an infielder. And that's a Texas lead single here for Pierce Blahovic.
Now this, if people watch this, is the perfect definition of that Texas leaguer. Just in between the outfielders and the second baseman.
It looked like a line drive in the box score tomorrow.
It'll all say one base hit. And as Pierce,
you couldn't have dropped that one in better with an Orton bomb sight.
No, that's right.
Brendan Luther is the batter. 2-out single on a kind of like a half swing by Blahovic.
Now with the aggression that Jordan Blundell likes to have, and with Nicolosi throwing a lot of breaking balls, it would not surprise me in this situation, even with 2 out, if he does not go. See how his shoulders are turned down?
It would surprise me if he didn't go, and I'll tell you why. It's a one-run ball game. You've got some running speed there. If he gets thrown out, you lead the 6th inning off with your number 1 hitter.
Exactly right. And that's one reason they like to put these guys down at the bottom of the order. And, you know, how many times we've seen it with 2 out, all of a sudden you get a couple of hits, get some runs going.
There he shows the bunt. He takes a big soft curveball in the strike zone. Luther tonight with a single, a steal, a second. He came around to score. And he got under a pitch and popped one up to the third baseman his first time through.
And Nicolosi's got a nice pickoff move, and Blahovic, this is an interesting competition because he gets out on the carpet and he believes he gets a better push back to first base off of there than being on the ground.
There he set the runner, and the ball is bounced foul to first base. Strike 2.
I suspect he'll be going again in the breaking ball.
That's really not a hit and run with 2 away. It's more of a run and hit. A hit and run is to keep you out of a ground ball double play. Ball game entirely changes with 2 away.
It sure does.
Blahovic has got both feet on the carpet, and the pitch is outside. Had a pretty good idea he wasn't going to throw him a strike. Go to 1 and 2. That was an excellent throw, right where it needed to be. But Blahovic gets back, and he's a long way away. He's 10 feet away.
He is, and he that was very close. But he believes in himself, and he believes, maybe more importantly here, he has to be on that carpet so he can push to get back.
There's a floater out into left field, drifting on into the gap as De La Cruz makes the catch. And that's going to do it here in the last half of the 5th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man stranded. Got a good one for you here tonight, a pitch and duel. 2-1 ball game. The Prospects lead as we head to the 6th inning on ICU Video. Get the 6th inning underway in the bottom 3 of the order, due up for the Miller Express. Second baseman Zach Campbell, the left fielder Dougie De La Cruz, and the catcher Marcus Menendez. And Austin Kennedy, he's got the first check mark done, and any chance he has for a victory tonight. He's got 5 innings under his belt. You have to do that as a starter. And he's got a 1-run lead, a 2-1 ball game.
Tremendous ball game. Very well pitched. Kennedy's thrown 72 pitches through 5 innings.
And the pitch. Fouled off up the first base side, strike 1 to the batter. He's got a good night going. Campbell is 2 for 2. Hit a high hopper up the middle and a looping line drive to center field.
And it's like we talked about earlier, you look at a couple of hard hits by one of their players, and I know Gary had a real hard hit, and both of them caught line drives right at people. It's a funny game, this baseball, Al.
Right-hander up and throwing in the Moose Jaw bullpen. Ball game is right about the 1 1/2 hour mark. Got underway at 7:25 Mountain Time tonight. And the pitch. Breaking ball right down the middle. The series wraps up tomorrow night as the week goes on. The weather gets better. It'll be a 7:05 start. The club is into Medicine Hat on Thursday and Friday. And they better put some wins in the bank on Thursday and Friday because it's not going to be easy on Saturday night. The Okotoks Dogs coming to town.
Well, that is for sure. Austin Kennedy, it was 3 strikes that he has thrown. 2 have been breaking balls, and good ones.
Dogs with the best record in the Western Canada League. Going into this game tonight, there's a backdoor hook and a good one. That's a honey of a pitch. 21-6 the record going into tonight's game. That's a backdoor curve.
You don't get them better than that.
Dougie Dela Cruz is the hitter. Second best record in the league is the Weyburn Beavers at 18-6. And a half-game lead on the Regina Red Sox. Our outstanding owner, Pat Cassidy, was telling you and I that they're going to, looks like, build a new ballpark for them in Regina. And hopefully they'll build them a nice one. Here's the ball hit in the air. High pop up. Ramirez drifting back, calling everybody off. And the left fielder, Barrett's going to call him off. That ball was right up in the jet stream.
It really was, but this is the right call. Because of the backspin and how it works, the outfielder's got the easier play. And we've talked about this earlier. When you're backing up, it is tough to judge.
Yeah, they're laughing about it. And Marcus Menendez is the hitter up. As well as Kennedy has pitched tonight, he has not had a 3-up, 3-down inning. In fact, just about every inning he's pitched, he's faced 5 batters, has not had a 4-batter inning. Here he's got a chance for a 3-batter inning, and he's erased the first 2 batters in the inning. Here the batter shows the bunt and takes a curveball strike, 0-1. And when you're struggling like this player is, Menendez, he's hitting .065. Why not? Square off and drop down a bunt. He ain't got much to lose. Last ball upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And the one thing about bunting is that you're seeing the ball come into the bat. And you got the bat out in front of you, you let it come in, corral it a little bit, and either push it or drag it, either one. It can get your confidence up. Well, there we got a hit batter.
And this one, I can guarantee you, he didn't try to do that.
No.
Not when you're hitting .065.
No, he tried to get that elbow out of the way. That had to hurt a little bit.
If you're going to get hit by a pitch and you want to turn into it, the best place you can hope for is right about where your wallet normally hangs in your back pocket. On what they call the gluteus maximus. Eric Marriott is the batter up. There's a pickoff throw. Good velocity, but not very good accuracy. Tying run is aboard here in the top of 6.
The other thing about that is, if you're going to get hit and you want to put it on the glutes, you better have big glutes.
There's a looping fly ball in a short left field. That's going to fall in. That'll be a Texas League single.
That's the second one we've seen this inning. Our last inning we saw one in this inning.
So Andres Garza will be the batter up with the tying run at second base and 2 away.
And now we got reliever heading down to the bullpen for the prospects.
Garza's 1 for 3 tonight with a run scored. Batting .276. Menendez takes his lead at second base. Marriott takes his lead at first. They could draw the middle infield fully back. Luther, the second baseman, about midway between the bags of first and second base. Davis Pratt is midway at third. The outfield is in. The center fielder Blahovic playing real shallow. See a couple of Texas leaguers like that, and maybe that's why you do it.
You know, they used to say about Tris Speaker, that great outfielder, the old dead ball area. He used to play so shallow, and he loved to turn and go and chase the ball. And you don't see many guys that do that.
No.
And especially those old gloves they had.
In fact, you see the old gloves, the fingers were not laced together.
No, not laced at all.
You just had a little bit of a leather thong between the thumb and the first finger.
You had to catch it in the palm.
Ground ball to the right side, and that should do it. Luther up to his left on to first. Nicely done. Here by the pitcher, Austin Kennedy gets himself out of the kettle here in the 6th inning. No runs and a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. And the home half of the 6th coming your way in a 2-1 Prospect lead. This is Prospect Baseball on ICU Video. Bottom half of the 6th inning about set to get underway. And Davis Pratt will be the leadoff batter, be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters up. Travis Hunt and Nolan Walker here against Jeff Nicolosi. Got touched up for a run on a home run by Travis Hunt in the 1st inning. Barrett hits and a stolen base produced a run in the 3rd. Not a whole lot more than that. This kid's been pretty tough tonight for the Miller Express. He's out of Sterling, Connecticut, 5 foot 10 inch, 175 pound sophomore out of Mitchell College. Nothing fancy, just meat and potatoes.
Exactly right. He's had good location tonight, mixed up his speeds, kept the hitters off balance. And the one thing that the prospects have been able to do in the main, if they get people on base, they've been able to bring them around. Again, we're looking at a situation where we're talking about a 2-1 lead for the prospects, and yet you look at Moose Jaw and they're out hitting the prospects 10-4. That's one thing Nicolosi's doing a good job of. He's keeping his team in the ball game.
Yeah, he is. Giving him a chance.
Well, that's all you can ask out of a pitcher.
You were talking about the old-fashioned gloves that weren't laced together in that era. At the end of a half inning, believe it or not, the outfielders just used to leave their gloves in the field. They didn't take them in with them. Now, why they did that, I don't know, but that was just the norm. That was what was done.
That was a custom.
And here comes the 1-0 pitch. Low and away, ball 2. I actually met the guy that was credited with lacing the first ball glove fingers together, and that was a Hall of Fame left-hand pitcher and Lefty Gomez. I read that somewhere that he figured that out. In those days, I don't imagine he had to take it to the rules committee to get permission. But you're right, you had to catch that ball right in the palm of your hand. Can you imagine catching a hot line drive like that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And those guys could do it. Guys like Cobb, Speaker, all those outfielders.
Here you see the base hit up the middle. Here by Davis Pratt, second knock of the night. And we might have a pitching change here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. I don't think this guy's throwing an inordinate amount of pitches, but he's done for the night. And that'll do it for Jeff Nicolosi, a 5+ inning distance here this evening. Leaves the ball game with a runner at first base, a pitching change up and coming. And we'll take this time out. This is Prospects Baseball on ICU Video. Here you get a look at the new pitcher in the ball game, a right-hander, Jaden Hoffman, 6 foot 3 inch, 195 pounder out of Unity, Saskatchewan. Sophomore, Merced College down in Merced, California. Will make his 9th relief appearance, 9 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 2 base on balls, 13 strikeouts. This guy's put some nice stuff together, and a 0.96 earned run average. The Western Canada League hitting .205. Not a whole lot more than allowed foul off this kid. They used to have a senior men's team for years, the Unity Cardinals in the Saskatchewan Major League.
That was a good league. So Jeff Nicolosi left with only 61 pitches.
He was nasty tonight. He did a nice job.
He was, yeah.
Pitch inside, 1 ball, no strikes. His incomplete totals tonight, 5+ innings, runs yet to be determined. Only 5 hits, struck out 3, didn't walk a batter, pretty much pitched ahead in the count all night. Travis Hunt turned that one around real good in the first inning. Belted his 4th home run of the season over the wall in left field. And we set it 1 ball and 1 strike. As Davis Pratt takes the lead off at first base.
As we talked about before with Hunt, I think you'd want to keep him low and out.
And the 1-1 pitch turned it over as a curveball. Down and away, 2 balls, 1 strike. From Jaden Hoffman, a new pitcher tonight.
Last night, Travis Hunt hit probably the first one we've seen when he hit that gap double. He hit it to the opposite field. Normally he pulls the ball.
Pitch inside, ball 3. That was one of the big things I noticed when we went from AAA ball to independent professional baseball. We had a ton of hitters that could pull the ball, but you did not get many foul line to foul line power hitters. Runner goes, the pitch on the way, and a bouncing ball to the left side of the diamond. They roll the dice and come up with snake eyes, and you got first and second base. There you see it, clean single between short and third. And Nolan Walker will be the batter up.
And again, pulled cleanly by Travis Hunt. Tough play for the third baseman. This artificial turf, that ball takes off on the ground.
Well, during the pregame interview, I was listening to the interview with the manager, Richard Sorenson. This is the first time their guys have ever played an artificial turf, and it hurt them a little bit. And what you got to do, they didn't have batting practice either, they just got in late. Because what you got to do is, and fungos aren't going to do it, send your infielders out there and try to get ground balls off the batter. And then you're quickly going to learn what it's like playing on the turf.
Yeah, it's a lot different, that's for sure.
Pitch outside, 1 ball, no strike. Prospects now with a right-handed pitcher up and throwing in the relief pen. Walker tonight has flied to left field, bounced out to the second baseman. And here's the 1-0 delivery. It's a high hopper to the right side. And here's the throw to first base, and it is just in time. He bobbled the ball to the second baseman, Campbell. But he kept the ball. That's the main thing. He does get it out. And you've got now runners at second and third. See, he drops the ball. Didn't drop it, but he just misplayed it.
What he did real well there is he kept his cool. When that happened, came right back to first base for the out.
And Jake Geary is the batter. Drew a walk and was picked up on the front end of a ground ball double play. Got a pretty good rip at a pitch in the 4th inning. He lined a bullet to Jordy McDougal at third base. With 1 away, wisely so, they're going to play the infield up. So unless that ball is pretty much hit right at you, if it's hit a couple of feet to your left or right, there's a very good chance you aren't going to be making a fielding play.
Very difficult to make. It's going to be through.
Here, I think you want to pretty much pitch middle of the plate in with something on it. You want to try to get a strikeout. He comes set in the 0-1 pitch. Throws a curveball strike, 0-2.
That's 2 good breaking balls he's thrown.
And here's the pitch. There's a base hit to left field. That'll play to run. And we'll have men on the corners and a run in to score. Nice bit of 2-strike hitting by Jake Geary.
Certainly was. Excellent bat control. Pitcher got it in a little bit on the plate. we can get this from the center field camera, you'll see it. Jake Geary gets around on it real quick.
Totals are full now on Jeff Nicolosi, the starting pitcher tonight. 5-inning distance, 3 earned runs, 5 hits, 3 strikeouts. First and third with 1 away, and the batter is Javier Ramirez. Lined a bullet back to the mound for an out in the second inning. And he took strike 3 called his last time up. Here's the pitch to Ramirez. Another curveball and a good one. He's got a nice delivery. Nice overhand curveball.
Here's this play from the center. See how he got that up and in, and he was able to rotate on it. That was almost the same pitch that Travis Hunt hit out of the ballpark.
And the 0-1. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Garza and Campbell will now shorten up, play at a double play depth. McDougall is midway at third. Outfield is straight away. And here comes the 1-1 pitch. And he's going to get hit with a pitch. I think it just touched his uniform. I don't think it hit his body.
I do too. We'll watch it on from here. Yeah, it just must have caught the jersey a little bit.
Eric Crane, the DH, on an 0-for-2 night. 1 gone, bases loaded here in the last of 6. High kick here from Jaden Hoffman, the pitch. He's throwing a lot of curveballs. He's got a good one. And that one is in there at the knee. That's where you want it. Strike 1.
It's a tough ball to hit. Get that ball breaking right in, down on the knee.
Pitch on the way is down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Other games underway tonight here in the Western Canada Baseball League. Weyburn and Okotoks at Siemens Stadium. And the Yorkton Cardinals are in swift current to play the 57s. Breaking pitch, took a good rip at it, and it's a strike, 1-2. Tomorrow night, Weyburn's at Okotoks, Medicine Hat and Swift Current, Lethbridge and Brooks, Yorkton's in Regina, and of course the Miller Express will be right here at Remax Field in Edmonton. And again, it'll be Thursday and Friday night at Medicine Hat. Back here Saturday night against the Dogs. And the WCBL All-Star game next Sunday. We'll have all the pictures and descriptions for you. Getting underway about 10 minutes of 4 o'clock.
That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'll tell you what you got to do. I've done 2 All-Star games at AAA. And you got to use a pencil on the defensive chart. You're going to see everybody get into the game.
Exactly.
Did one in Nashville, did one in Norfolk, Virginia. And here's the 1-2 pitch. On the back door, it's a called strike. Outside half of the plate.
Hope we see this from the replay. I think he catches right on the corner. Yeah, that's a good pitch. Dropped it right over the outside corner.
Left field, number 34, Grayson Barrett.
And Grayson Barrett will be the hitter. Back though to a lead of 2, a 3-1 ball game. Bases are loaded. Barrett tonight has bounced out and struck out.
We would say he's due.
Like the check in the mail. Pitch outside, 1 ball, no strikes. I've heard that one a time or two.
Mm-hmm. The check's in the mail and the post office is on strike.
I've heard that a time or two as well. Right about Christmas time.
That's right.
Work out of a bases loaded stretch, and the pitch he overthrew the fastball. He's high of the target. Probably might want to go back to the breaking ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Barrett hitting 105 coming into tonight's contest. There he took a swing at a breaking ball, took a good rip at it. 2-1. I would think he's going to throw him another breaking ball.
I would think so. It's been his best pitch since he's come in this inning and has had pretty good success with it.
And the 2-1 pitch on the way. Strike to the outside half of the plate.
Oh, hit him.
There he hits his man,
boy.
and that's going to produce a run, and that's a run batted in the hard way.
That is really the hard way. He's going to have laces right on his leg. And Jaden Hoffman just feels sick about that. You saw the way he came off that mound.
Number 6, here's Blahoyak.
Blahoyak tonight, 1 for 2. 4-1 ball game here in the last of 6. 8th batter to the plate for the Prospects. And you're absolutely right. That's the last thing in the world Jaden Hoffman wanted to do, is hit a batter and produce a run. And that run will be charged to Hoffman. The totals are complete for Jeff Nicolosi. 5+ innings, 3 earned runs. Scattered 5 hits, walked 3, did not walk a batter.
Now, we've talked about this before with Pierce Blahoviak. He's a young man of 250 batting average, not have a big hitter, but he has hit in the clutch for this ball club. And with the bases loaded, he can very easily do it. And the other thing he has very good plate presence. So he's going to work this pitcher.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Long before my time, but the Cardinals had a shortstop, was a lifetime 250 hitter, and he got to the Hall of Fame. 1, because he was such a good picker, but he was the toughest 250 hitter in baseball. He said his guy's name was Marty Marion.
You
He
know,
always seemed to get a knock when there was a man in scoring position.
and you have players in all sports like that they come up when you need somebody to make a play. That's the individual that'll make it.
Out is it 2 balls and 2 strikes. Miller expressed with the opinion that might have been strike 3, and I tend to agree with him.
Let's have a look at it.
It looked pretty good.
Oh, it did. I thought that looked pretty good, too. It must have just missed outside Al.
And the pitch, swing and a miss. Get him on a breaking ball. Strike at number 2 for this young man from Unity, Saskatchewan, but 8 batters to the plate, 2 runs come in to score as they parlay 3 hits into 2 runs. Any errors, 3 men left on base. And a 4-1 Prospects lead as we head to the 7th inning. And this is Prospects baseball. We'll remind you of that, and Andrew Peart has more for us. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Al. Busy week here at the park, busy month at the park here for the Edmonton Prospects, including yesterday's game. They're going to play 9 of 14 of their next 14 games right here at Remax Field, of course, starting tomorrow with the conclusion of this 3-game series with Moose Jaw. And then on Saturday, the Okotoks Dogs in here before, of course, Sunday. It is the WCBL All-Star Game. Make sure to head over to the Prospects website, get your tickets for that if you're planning on coming down. Matt Stairs is going to be here. There's going to be a home run derby. First pitch is scheduled to go at 4 o'clock. It's going to be a great afternoon of baseball here at Remax Field. And if you are thinking of coming to the game tomorrow evening, it is out of school day. The kids are out of school, and they will have deals for the children coming in to the game today. And we got some kids in behind us making the trip in from Whitecourt. The Whitecourt Royals in attendance here today, making the 90-ish minutes drive down Highway 43 onto 16 and right here into the River Valley. Al, John, back up to you guys.
All right, well, thank you kindly. We're glad to hear about that. The kids are out of school. I'm not sure who's happier, the kids or the teachers.
I think it's the teachers. I'll tell you who's the unhappiest is the parents.
Yeah. When I was a kid growing up in the final day of school, that meant back at the farm they had 3 more farmhands ready to go to work.
Yeah.
Right about in time
exactly
for
right.
haying season.
Yeah. Well, you know, you think about it, Al. That's what our school year is based on. It was based on harvest.
Yeah.
And that's why we started in September and never started in August. And now you're seeing them go to year-round schools in a lot of places. But at one time, school year was basically based on the agricultural industry.
Michael Borst is the leadoff batter. Swings. It's a bouncing ball to Ramirez. Makes the snag. Here's the throw, and it's off target. And you've got a runner aboard here in the 7th inning. Want to see if that ball and the runner arrived at the same time. If so, it would be a base hit. Got this one kind of surrounded. Double pumps a little bit. Yeah, that's probably got to be an error.
That's got to be an error on E6.
And Darrell Dahl is the batter. 2 for 2 here tonight with a sacrifice bunt. Yeah, that's an error. That's an out. You got to get an out on that play.
That's the one thing we've noticed with Javier Ramirez. I mean, he's a good ball player, but it seems to me that on certain plays, it's like he nonchalants the ball. This is an easy play, and then you end up with a bad throw. We've seen it before with just the toss to second to go for double play, and he'll toss it over the second baseman. He's just got to focus a little better.
The ball looped up the middle out into right center field. All right, that left center field. And here's the throw on to second base, and you're going to have a double. And just quick as that, you've got 2 men in scoring position. Darrell Dahl hustled out 180 feet of base track in that ball. It was ticketed out into left center field. That's a gap double, and you've got second and third, nobody out, and a 361 batter coming to the plate. And a right-hander heating up in the bullpen.
And right now, Jake Gary's talking with Austin Kennedy about how they're going to pitch this batter. They've got to get him out.
McDougall tonight has 3 times hit the ball on the ground. He knocked in a run with a ground ball out in the 5th. Nubbed the ball out in front of the plate for an out. Technically, it's a ground ball out. Retired the side with a bounce out to third base. Well, he's a 361 hitter, and you got to figure he's due. 2 runners in scoring position. There you got under the pitch, and it's a fly ball to left field. Grayson Barrett is drifting back. That's going to be deep enough to score the run. Tagging up, Michael Borst crosses the plate with an unearned run, and it's a 4-2 ball game.
Now this tells you how bad those errors can be. This run is because of that first throwing error.
Cole Workin tonight, 1 for 3, reached base on an infield hit in the 4th inning. 4-2 score here in the top half of the 7th inning. As you can see, the prospects have got their infield fully back. Their outfield is straight away. And the pitch is high and tight. 1 ball, no strikes. Two balls, no strike to count. The prospects defensively, Pratt at third, Walker at first, Ramirez at short, Luther at second base, Barrett, Blohoyak, and Hunt left through right in the outfield. And the kick in the 2-0 delivery, throws a breaking ball at the knee.
Good pitch for a strike. Now, where Kennedy's got himself in trouble in this game is when he's got behind. There he is, 3-1 now.
I think what he's thinking is that was an identical pitch to the one I just threw. One was a strike, and that one's a ball.
And it wouldn't be bad to come back with the same pitch. That's a strike, good breaking ball. And the interesting thing about that is, Al, with first base open, if you don't get this guy, you still got now you got the double play set up.
And you've also got a 167 hitter on deck.
That's right. So keep working the corners. Right back with that breaking ball.
Two runs given up by Kennedy tonight, only one earned run. He's gotten by with his stuff here this evening. There's a bouncing ball, hit foul to third base. Landed in fair territory, but then it swerved foul. That's where it was caught. Miller Express started their road trip at Medicine Hat. 3 here, and then they'll move up to Fort McMurray through the next few days.
Fort McMurray's really come alive lately, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. You know, they're just a game off 500. They're 13 and 14. Good for Brownie. If this continues, that'll probably give them a postseason appearance. And here's the payoff pitch. Got it on the hands, and he looped it foul off the right-hand side, and out of play. And down and away go to ball 4. That's a good at bat for Cole Workin.
Very good at bat. Good job by Gary at blocking that ball, keeping the runner at second.
Jordan Blundell makes his way up. That's going to do it on the night for Austin Kennedy. Good evening for him, though. He's 6+ innings of work. And he is done for the night. We'll take a break. This is Edmonton Prospects Baseball on ICU Video. You can look at the new pitcher in the ball game, Zach Harrington. Out of Magnolia, Arkansas, 5'10", 170-pounder. Texas A&M at Texarkana. Beautiful little town right on the Texas-Arkansas border. Went through there one time. Just as lush and green as you want to get.
And humid.
9th relief appearance for Harrington, 19 innings. 25 hits, 6 earned runs, 5 walks, 15 strikeouts. You got to like that. Earned run average at 2.79. Western Canada League is batting .309 off Zach Harrington. Incomplete totals for the starter tonight. Austin Kennedy, and he was pretty much razor sharp. 6 1/3 innings, run totals to be determined. He potentially could get a victory, but he can't get hung with a loss tonight. Scattered 11 hits, struck out 5, only walked a batter, hit 1 batter, and threw 1 wild pitch.
And threw a total of 97 pitches.
Zach Campbell has certainly hit better tonight than he has on the season. Coming into tonight's game, a batting average of $167, but tonight he's batting .666. I think he's going to be batting better than that as he just belts a ball out into right field for a base hit. That loads the bases.
Loads the bases, but there is a case again of Travis Hunt's arm where they're just not going to bring that runner. They're not going to test that arm. He's very accurate, very strong.
Dougie Dela Cruz, the hitter up, bases loaded. So your tying run is now in scoring position as you see those clouds overhead. In recent times, when haven't you seen the clouds overhead?
They've been rolling.
Dela Cruz, a .302 batter. As you can see, he's a left-handed hitter. About midway in the batter's box, feet spread wide apart, bends his knees, closed off batting stance, and he'll take high for ball 1. Here's a stretch by Harrington, and the pitch that ball had the bottom drop right out of it, a swing and a miss. There's a changeup, hit hard, but foul to first base, strike 2.
And again, we've talked about this many times, but when you change speeds and you slow that ball down, the batter gets around on it a little quicker than they want to and pull it foul.
And the 1-2 pitch is on the way. Tried to dot an I on the outside corner. Umpire didn't take the bait. We go to 2-2.
The umpire didn't, but the fans did. Very good pitch, just off the outside corner.
Second of a 3-game series. It's the only time this year these two ball clubs will lock horns. The Prospects have had 2 rips through Saskatchewan, a 3-game series in Regina, another one in Weyburn. So it's an unbalanced schedule in the Western Canada Baseball League. And the pitch foul to the backstop. We were talking last night too, it's unofficial, but there's talk of a group of people want to put together a franchise and build a ballpark in the Sylvan Lake area.
That would be ideal. Pretty part of the province, very close to Red Deer, which has a population right now about 70,000.
Something like that, yeah, that's right.
And in the summer in Sylvan Lake area, you're around 20,000. And you're not far from Rocky Mountain House, which is just west of there. So, be a good location.
And the pitch, low for ball 4. That'll make it a 1-run ball game. De La Cruz gets a run batted in on the base on ball. Marcus Menendez, the 9-hole batter, will be the hitter up. Menendez tonight, base hit to left field, struck out swinging, and he got hit by a pitch. Tying run is 90 feet from scoring. And the ball is hit in the air to left center field. That'll tie the ball game up. A looping line drive over the head of Ramirez, the shortstop. He timed his jump as best he could.
Just wasn't quite tall enough.
There you see it. And Cole Workin comes in to score. Bases remain loaded. And we'll go to the top of the order. And Eric Marriott, the batter. That'll bring the totals complete on Austin Canada. 4 runs, 3 earned runs over 6+ innings.
And I see Trevor Berg, closer for the Prospects, heading down to the bullpen now.
High and outside pitch here from Harrington. 1 ball and no strikes.
Now, this is one of the most difficult things for a reliever to come in. Bases loaded, and you end up walking in the run. And you got the tying run at third base. Still the bases loaded.
Marriott's got a 2-for-4 night going. Base hit in the first, another one in the 6th. Ground out and a strikeout in between. And a pop fly foul off the head of the bat.
Hal, this is one of the best things of baseball to me, is the challenge between pitcher and batter, and especially in a situation like this, where you've got a tie game, you've got the go-ahead run sitting at third base, just 1 out. Pitcher's in a tough position.
Harrington ready to go. Here's the pitch, a strike on the outside corner. That's what he was looking for. And now you got 2 away. Should have 3 away in the inning with errors elongated this inning. Andreas Garza is the batter up. They will bat around here in the 7th inning. Garza with a 1-for-4 night, reached base on an infield hit. Batting .276 on the year. Harrington ready, he comes home, and the pitch turned that one over, and it's low, 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Harrington. A strike right down Broadway, 1-1. $843 in the seats here tonight. A little bit less than what there was here last night, just a shade under 5,000. And the pitch, ground ball wide of third base. Pratt's up with it and fires it onto the bag to retire the side. Here in the inning, 9 batters come to the plate, and 3 runs come in to score. 2 of them earned runs. 3 hits, 1 errand, it was kind of a big one, and 3 left on base. Move along to the bottom half of the 7th inning in a 4-all draw. This is Prospects Baseball on ICU Video. 4-4 ball game going to the home half of the 7th inning. As a 9-batter up inning produces 3 runs, 2 of them earned, and the Miller Express back where they started in a tie game. Brendan Luther at the top of the order will lead it off.
Leading off for the Prospects, second base, number 16, Brendan Luther.
1 for 3 tonight. He's got a bag and a run scored. Davis Pratt and Travis Hunter do up the 1, 2, 3 batters in the order. Jordan Hoffman, this big, long, lanky right-handed pitcher, 6'3", out of Unity, Saskatchewan. Goes to Merced College down in California. And the pitch outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
He might have cooled off a little bit. He was sitting for quite a while.
Go to 2-1. Garza and Campbell, the middle infield. McDougall at third. Dahl at first. Marcus Menendez completes the battery. And the 2-1 delivery is a fastball. Lots of steam on it, but a little high. Ball 3. Be interesting to find out just how many Canadian players are in NCAA baseball. There are a load of them.
There are, when you look at the different divisions, there's so many.
Pitch is high and outside, ball 4. And Davis Pratt is the batter. Brings to me a question, and we all know that Canada is primarily number 1. It's a hockey country. Then let's go to football and let's go to baseball. And the epitome of baseball is obviously the big leagues. And the epitome of football, at least as far as earnings are concerned, is the National Football League. I don't know if there's a player in the Canadian League wouldn't switch a contract to play in the NFL. They're playing for money. But I'll tell you right now, there's more Canadians in the major leagues than there are Canadians in the National Football League.
Well, that's exactly right.
By a country mile.
And when you look at the pipelines of Major League Baseball, there's an awful lot of Canadian kids in there.
There's a big, big jump on the runner going from first. The ball is slapped back to the mound. It's fielded by Hoffman. And he throws on to first base. Had he just stepped off, he could have very likely got his man in a rundown play.
Could have.
1-3 on the put-up, and the go-ahead run in scoring position. Travis Hunt is the batter. We got a right-hander heating up in the bullpen of the Miller Express.
I would suspect they might be talking about walking Mr. Hunt.
I would see why. He's hit the ball hard all 3 times tonight. Even that fly ball out up the middle
It was a hard hit
Yeah,
ball.
that wasn't a can of corn. He nailed it pretty good.
He hit it good. And
as you look at Jordan Hoffman in relief of Jeff Nicolosi. 5+ innings, 3 earned runs, 5 hits, 3 strikeouts. Back-to-back nights, the Miller Express have gotten some real good work out of their starting pitchers.
tonight they're getting pretty good work out of the reliever, too.
There's a breaking ball, not held cleanly. Man goes to third, and he'll pull in. I'm just trying to see on the replay if he went with the pitch. If it is, there's no error there. It'll be a stolen base.
Here it is.
No. That's probably going to have to be a wild pitch. Now, if we can ask the center field camera to show us again, we'll tell you if it's a wild pitch or a pass. I wish I would have had this when I was the official scorer back in AAA. The minor leagues, you don't generally get a second look at anything. That was a breaking ball. Menendez had to box that thing, didn't field it cleanly. All right, then we'll have a look. Yeah, it looked to me like it was in the dirt.
Did to me, too.
Two balls and no strikes. Infield's going to play up with the man at third. And here's the 2-0 pitch. Fastball upstairs, ball 3. I think they're going to just throw him a wide one and go on to the next batter. The runaway last night, 12-2 Prospect victory. They were able to get the starter out of there, and they feasted on the bullpen a little bit. And the automatic is in and over, 3-1. Travis Hunt turned one right around in the first inning, a 2-out solo shot. Airmailed it over the wall in left field, and there's ball 4.
And I don't think they're too upset that Hoffman walked him on here. You hold
I'll
him
tell you
to
one thing, though, I wouldn't be
there.
throwing a pitch in the dirt like that with a man at third.
No. And I'm looking at Mendez, and he turns the glove over a lot when he goes to block the ball. That can kick back on you. So it's going to be interesting. He could have one scoot through him. Now, Walker has not had a real good night.
And here's the pitch to Nolan, a strike at the knee. No, you don't want to be throwing breaking balls in the dirt with a man at third. Probably just get out of your crouch and put your hand out towards first base and take ball 4. And the pitch foul back. Strike 2. See, in the big leagues now, they don't throw you 4 wide ones. They just indicate to first base. And I'm a traditionalist. I don't like that.
I don't either. Because I've seen too many times where they get the ball a little close and somebody will step out and pop it.
Well, I remember that World Series back in '72, I think, the Cincinnati Reds, the Oakland A's. And I think Jim Nash was pitching for the A's. There's a breaking ball. Walker took a rip at it, and he's not happy with himself. You look at his body language. Why did I swing at that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 22, Jake Geary.
Anyway, Johnny Bench was the batter, and Dick Williams came out. I think it was Jim Nash pitching, and he pointed towards first base with 3 balls and 2 strikes in the count. And Nash came set. The catcher went out of his crouch, Dave Duncan, pointing towards first. And he snuck back into his crouch, and Nash threw a strike, and Bench was out on strikes. That wouldn't happen now with the new rule.
No, that's right.
Not that that was a common occurrence. It's the only time I've ever seen it happen. Here's a break for second base, and pulling in is Travis Hunt with an uncontested steal of the bag. Why he didn't throw is because he had a man at third.
That's exactly right. And you're going to fake the throw and try to draw him and get him into a rundown, but there was no way that Brendan Luther was going to fall for that.
Moose Jaw with a big right-hander up and throwing in the bullpen now. Jaden Hoffman working in his second inning of relief. Strike one pitch, foul to the backstop, 0-2. We'll do it all again here tomorrow night, 7:05 contest. The Miller Express move up the road, Highway 43, I believe it is, into Fort McMurray. Or is it 63?
63.
63.
43 will take you to White Court, Valley View,
and there's a breaking ball for strike three called on Jake Geary.
See the replay on that. Jake Geary did not like that, and I know why. That ball was inside.
So the Prospects flirt with a run, but not a whole lot more. No runs, no hits. Weren't any errors, and two men stranded. And we are headed to the eighth inning in a 4-all ball game, and this is Prospect Baseball on ICU Video. Michael Borst will get it going here in the eighth inning. On a 1-for-4 night with a run scored. He's about the best of the litter, I would say. 367 batsman. Front foot wide open. There he squares off. Tries to push a bunt down the line. That's foul, strike one. You wouldn't expect a bunt out of a 367 hitter in the middle part of the order.
No, you'd expect him to swing away on it, but some of these good hitters, they bunt really well. And they'll change up on you, and you look where the first baseman is. If he gets that push down, he's going to get the base hit.
We set at 1-1 here in the eighth inning. Ball game right about the 2.5-hour mark, which is fine. I have nowhere else I particularly want to be. Strike of the inside half, go to 1-2.
Well, tell me, did you get your furnace going last night?
Yes, I'm sorry to say I did. And that is obscene. There he got him on the fist. That's a good pitch, and it's a looping fly ball straight up the middle. Ball hit about 380 feet in the air, and Pierce Blohoyak in reverse gear. There to make the catch. We got that one right below the label of the bat.
Now batting first base number 12, Daryl Dahl.
Daryl Dahl will be the hitter.
We have a new center fielder. That looks like Tanner Roundy out there, left-hander.
All right, duly noted. Tanner Roundy. The umpire did not make any signal towards the outfield with his lineup sheet. Unless Blahoyak between half innings has learned how to catch the other way. And I doubt that. Ground ball to the right side. And you got two away.
And he'd had to have grown a lot of hair in that few innings, too.
Jordy McDougal will be the batter. That would mean Roundy will bat in the spot occupied by Blahoyak in the 9 hole. Stretch here by Zach Harrington. Strides home the pitch. Pulled a string on a breaking ball, and it's foul tip, strike one.
Jake's feeling that. I think that ball come right up in his throat.
For the record, the best batter in the league right now is Tristan Peters of the Okotoks Ball Club. He is smoking the ball. He's hitting .463. I wonder what his on-base percentage is. Home run leader is Jack Berry of the Weyburn Beavers. I'm assuming they've got some short porch somewhere. He's got 11 big shots. Caleb Warden of the Lethbridge Bulls with 33 runs batted in. The pitching leader is Nolan Roof of the Okotoks Dogs. He's got 5 wins. He's also the strikeout leader with 44. And I have a feeling I used to watch his grandfather pitch for the Warburg Ball Club in the Oilfield Baseball League. He's a breaking ball strike, 0-2.
And of course, that's the very famous Ruff family that produced so many hockey players, the NHL. A lot of good athletes in that family, Al, over the years.
All of them. 0-2 on the batter with the infield back and the outfield straight away. He tried to dot an I in the outside corner. Pitch was about the width of 2 baseballs off the plate. 4 runs on 12 hits tonight for the Miller Express. 4 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error tonight for the Prospects. Here, Harrington with a much better inning than we came in the 7th. Maybe he wasn't loose, I'm not sure, but here the 8th inning, he's throwing strikes on both halves of the plate.
He is, and his breaking ball is really dropping. It's like a different pitcher out here.
There's a stride home and a 2-strike pitch. That's a breaking ball. Now held cleanly by Jake Gary. Puts the tag down. You can record a strikeout. Number 2 for the pitcher, Zach Harrington. And a put out for the catcher, Jake Gary. And nothing across as we move along to the bottom half of the 8th inning in a 4-4 ball game. This is Prospects Baseball on ICU Video. On to the last half of the 8th inning. Javier Ramirez, the leadoff batter. Shows the bunt, and he takes inside. 1 ball and no strike. Eric Crane and Grayson Barrett due up for the hometown Prospects. Breaking ball is down and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Here from Jordan Hoffman, 6'3" right-hander, out of a little town halfway between North Battleford and Bigger, a place called Unity. And the pitch foul to the backstop. Back in 1975, I was a country music disc jockey at the radio station in Rosetown, Saskatchewan.
Really?
Not a very good one either. And the pitch, it hit him, was just about behind him. And Ramirez is the 3rd hit batsman by Hoffman here tonight. Just about threw it behind him. Hit him right on the numbers. Eric Crane is the batter.
Correction, now in the game for the Prospects, number 36.
Now this is a place we might see a hit and run. Ramirez has very good speed. I'm not sure that Crane will be bunny.
There's the pitcher that's fouled to the backstop. I don't think that's Crane. That's not number 29. I think we have a pinch hitter coming in here.
38? 36.
Edgar Harrell is the pinch hitter.
Harrell. We're not getting help from the umpire, are we?
No, not a lot. So Harrell will just occupy the 7th spot on the order as the designated hitter. And the pitch to him is off speed and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now, young Mr. Edgar Harrell is his cousin of Jake Gary. And they played together since they were kids.
The stretch in the 1-1 pitch. He overthrew the fastball. That was way high of the target. With a ball, 2 strike 1 here on Harrell. Hitting .250. And this will be his 9th ball game. Runner goes, and a clean steal of second base as Menendez had problems making the transfer from catcher's mitt to throwing hand. Wasn't an easy pitch to handle either.
Now you see how he turns the glove over on those. He backhands the ball. It's tough to catch those and get up with it quick.
That's a big 90 feet of base track. This late in the ball game. The runner going, that's going to be a stolen base. There's a ball slapped back to the mound. The big right-hander holds his runner at second, throws a 1-hopper to Dahl at first base. There he just wasted an out. Good job by the pitcher. Did a great throw, but
didn't need the great throw, but he did the right thing, froze the runner. He couldn't get to third. Come back to first, and he got 1 out. I think we're going to have another reliever coming in. We are, Alan. We've got a big right-hander coming in.
Pitching change up and coming. We'll take a break. This is Edmonton Prospects Baseball on ICU Video. New pitcher in the ball game is Michael Ross, a right-hander, 6'2", 175-pounder, out of Marysville, Ohio, a sophomore at Tiffin University. There you get a look at him. Michael Ross. He will make his 9th appearance on the season. He's got 3 starts, his 5th relief appearance here tonight. Thrown 1 complete game, 25 2/3 innings, 22 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned. Great walk to strikeout ratio, 5 base on balls, 27 punch-outs, a 2-0 record and a 1.75 earned run average. Guy's pitching good. And the Western Canada Baseball League is hitting a paltry .227 of Michael Ross. Tanner Roundy is the batter. And a right-hander up and throwing in the Prospects bullpen. And the pitch for Michael Ross, looked like a slider down and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Tanner Roundy out of Henderson, Nevada. Big ball player, 6'4", which would mean that Blahowiak has moved to left field from center field. There's a breaking pitch, a swing and a miss.
It's like Tanner Roundy seems to be fighting the ball a little bit.
There's the pitch to him, and they get the ball up a little bit into the strike zone. Strike 2. Roundy hitting 188 in 22 ball games. Go ahead, run in scoring position. There's a hard ground ball on 2 hops, fielded by McDougal. And there's a strong throw across the diamond. He let her rip. It's right on target, 2 away. I'm pretty impressed with Jordy McDougal.
He's played well the 2 games we've seen him. Handles the glove very, very well. Plays the bag well. There he was shading the side of the bag and protecting that double. Making sure it wasn't getting down on the line. Very quick, good hands, good arm.
So Blahowiak, who started the game in center field, has moved over to left. Batting out of the 9 spot in the prospect order here in the last half of the 8th inning. And the pitch to Blahowiak is a strike, 0-1. Michael Ross with real good numbers, thrown a complete game. Microscopic ERAs. Ball moves, and it moves late. That's called late life.
And one of the toughest things in the world on a hitter.
And the 0-1 pitch. There he climbed the ladder a little bit and ran it up into the wheelhouse. Strike 2. Night and day difference in this ball game and last night's a 12-2 slugfest victory for the Prospects. Here it's been a well-pitched ball game. And we sit at 4-4 with 2 out. There's a break for third base, and an uncontested steal of the bag as Javier Ramirez pulls it to third. Menendez came out of his crouch. He was trying to cock his arm, but dropped the ball.
Would have been a tough throw anyway. Ramirez had a real good jump on that ball, and to come around the batter, it's not that easy to do. Now Blahowiak needs a hit.
Ross ready to go, long stride home, and there he just blew it right by the batter, and Blahowiak is down on strikes. And that's it here in the last half of the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. And 1 man left on base. We head to the 9th in a 4-all ball game. And this is Prospects Baseball on ICU Video as we head now to Andrew Peard.
Thank you, Al. Standing by here with Prospects pitcher Taryn Olton. And Taryn, you've been an innings eater this year for this team. What's your mindset each time you take the bump every start?
My mindset is to give absolutely no reason for my coaches to take me off the mound. As long as I sit there, as long as I can, I know that I did everything I can to help my team win.
You'll be getting a start tomorrow. What's sort of the process of getting ready for a start there? Are you watching their hitters here, or is it sort of just get up there and let her fly?
I try not to pay too much attention to a team before the day before because they could be a totally different team tomorrow. So I kind of just relax, make sure I feel good, and then tomorrow that's when I gear up and watch their BP and decide how I'm going to go against them.
Tied ball game here going into the ninth. What do you guys got to do to pull this one out?
We got to get our leadoff on base and push the ball the other way.
Good stuff. Appreciate the time, Taryn.
Yeah, thank you.
Al, back up to you.
On to the ninth inning. Cole Workman, the designated hitter, will be the leadoff batter. Here again, Zach Harrington, who tonight came in the 7th inning in relief of Austin Kennedy, who won a 6 1/3 inning distance, 4 runs, 3 earned, 11 hits, struck out 5. He only walked a batter. And he gets himself a no decision tonight, does Austin Kennedy. And the win and the loss tonight will be coming out of the relief pen.
You know, isn't it interesting, Al, that what started that, where they got their 3 runs in that inning, was that error by Javier Ramirez on the throw to first. And that started the whole thing.
Yep.
That would have been 2 out.
Workman tonight is 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Infield is back on him and fanned apart. The outfield is straight away. Pitch is a breaking ball strike. We're at 0-1. Zach Campbell, the second baseman, and Dougie Dela Cruz, the left fielder, due up here for the Miller Express. Pitch is down and away, and the count is evened up at 1-1.
Just missed on that pitch. Trying to get the call in the corner.
Ball is hit back up the middle, just under the glove of Harrington at the mound. And that'll be a leadoff single here in the 9th inning. Didn't try to do too much with 2 strikes up in the count. Just an even swing, hit the ball where it was pitched. Hit it in pretty good order, too. Harrington gets that ball at the mound, of course, it's a different story. Zach Campbell has swung as good a pole as anybody on either side tonight. 3 hits and 4 tries. Pratt's going to play inside the bag at third base, thinking maybe a bunt. I don't think they'll do that. If he's at second, that's pretty much automatic, but not at first. There he dotted an I with a pitch on the outside block, strike 1.
Excellent pitch. Now he's going to want to keep the ball down. Try to get the double play.
Well, there he shows how much I know. He dropped down a bunt, and there might not be a play at first base. There isn't. Second baseman Luther was coming over, didn't get there in time. That's a bunt single. Here it is.
That is a
nobody home.
Total miscommunication between the first baseman and the pitcher. Now, however their call was, where the second baseman was coming over, however it was, it's either a slow jump by the second baseman or a missed call.
Well, the second baseman has to get to the bag. There's no way the pitcher's going to get there in time. So now you got the go-ahead run in scoring position with nobody out, and a bunt single by Zach Campbell, and a pretty good one. Here's another nice bunt up the first base side. This time they will get it out. Walker fields the ball, comes to the bag, and runners move to second and third. A little bit of inside baseball, small ball.
This is very good baseball. I mean, it's exactly what you want to do. You got the people over. And now a fly ball will score a run. So again, Zach Harrington wants to keep that ball down. They're going to play it tight, try to cut off the run at home.
What you don't want to do with the infield up is throw a soft breaking ball away, something you can loop over the head of a drawn-in infield. You got to pitch middle of the plate in with a little something on it. And the pitch is a strike, 0-1. So a base hit up the middle, and then Zach Campbell with a bunt single. And Dougie Dela Cruz moved the runners over with a sacrifice bunt. So he'll get a no time at bat. Menendez has had a pretty good night for an 067 hitter. Collected 2 hits, including a run-scoring single to left field. And here's the 0-1 pitch. That was a breaking ball down and away. Now, in that previous batter, had Luther broken to first base, they likely would have gotten him. Just in case there was nobody home at first base when the ball was fielded by Walker.
Exactly right, and that's why I say there's a miscommunication there.
Foul to the backstop, and we'll go to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
The best thing that could happen here for Zach Harrington is to get a strikeout. Other than that, a pop-up.
Harrington kicks and delivers, threw him a strike, and the batter fouls it back. Harrington out of Henderson, Nevada. It's outside of Las Vegas on the Boulder Highway. And here comes the pitch. Ground ball to the right-handed side. They're going to get their man in a rundown play, but the throw was wide of the target at home plate. They'll run the man back towards third. The throw to Davis Pratt. Pratt will come back down the line here to Walker. And Walker will have 2 men at the bag. Now tag them both, let the umpire make the decision.
That's exactly how you have to play it.
Be a fielder's choice for Marcus Menendez. The out's going to have to go, I would think, to the runner from second to third. That's Zach Campbell. He's at a bag that shouldn't be occupied. Eric Marriott will be the batter.
Really smart. Now, one thing with that, again, Luther, he threw, that was a bad throw to Jake Gary. Jake Gary, if we get it on the replay, makes a heck of a catch. Because that ball gets by him, the run scores.
That it does. Blundell comes out to the mound. That's going to do it.
Here's the replay. There's a ground ball. Now watch this throw. He runs, and then boom. Look at that play by Gary.
That is an outstanding play by Jake Gary. New pitcher coming in. The runner, Zach Campbell, is out at third base, 5 unassisted. And there you see that rundown play. And let's take a quick timeout. Be back with more in just a minute. David Wiley, the new pitcher in the ball game. So we've got 2 out in the inning. Zach Campbell was tagged at third base by Davis Pratt. Cole Workman remains at third where he got caught in the rundown play. Marcus Menendez reached base on a fielder's choice and advanced to second on that fielder's choice on the rundown play. Got a little bit of everything here tonight.
We sure have.
David Wiley, San Diego ball player, 6'3", 180, out of Azusa Pacific University. 11th relief appearance, 18 innings of pitching, 13 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 5 base on balls, 12 strikeouts, and a 1.92 earned run average. Pitching with 2 away. It appears we have a pinch hitter coming into the ball game, David Gallagher.
Wasn't Gallagher the starter last night?
All right, David Wiley appears to be ready to go. From the set position, the pitch is down and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Gallagher, a Fredericton, New Brunswick ball player, and you're right. Did a pretty nice job with the arm. We'll see what he does with the wood. Pitch is even at a kind of a ball and a strike here to Gallagher. And he'll just line up in center field when we go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Here's the pitch and a bouncing ball to the left side of the diamond. Ramirez fields this ball in the hole and he throws it away. And 2 runs are going to come in to score on the play. Cole Workman scores from third. Marcus Menendez scores from second base.
Now this is a case of a ball player trying to do too much. When he gets older, he'll learn. He could have held it to 1 run and then go to the next man. But
Andres Garza's the batter up. 2 runs come in across the plate here. Make it a 6-4 ball game with 2 out here in the top of the 9th inning. Garza 1 for 5 tonight. That appears to be another pinch hitter. That's not Garza.
Get a number on him.
And at first and second base with 2 gone in the inning. Pitch and a hard ground ball between the hole of short and third base. They're going to try to wave another one in. No, they put the red light on. No play back at third base. That was Jeff Nicolosi with the base hit. RBI single. No RBI, just a single to left field. Loads the bases.
That can't be Nicolosi because he was a starting pitcher. Wasn't he? Jeff Nicolosi?
Was Nicolosi the starting pitcher? I don't know what's going on. Bases are loaded. Darryl Dahl is the batter, that I do know. And the pitch is down and away, 1 ball and no strikes. David Wiley, the second pitcher out of the bullpen tonight, 3rd pitcher in total for the Prospects. That was a breaking ball. It swung on and it's missed. A 6-4 ball game with 2 out and the bases loaded. In the top half of the 9th inning, second game of the series, a 12-2 Prospect victory last night. Down by 2 here in the top of the 9th inning tonight. And the pitch. In there at the knee. Fastball. 1-2. So Zach Harrington coughs up a couple of runs in relief. And the 1-2 pitch off the head of the bat, fouled away. Two strikeouts, 1 base on ball for Harrington on a 2 1/3 inning distance. 2 earned runs. Pitch is down and away. We go to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ball game just past the 3-hour mark, about 3 hours and 5 minutes. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. That ball had a lot of sink on it. It swung on and it's missed. Darren Dahl is done for the night. Strikeout number 1.
Very
for
good
David
pitch
Wiley.
Very good pitch by Wiley.
2 runs come in to score. 4 hits, 1 error, and 2 men left on base. It'll be up to the batters now as we move along to the last of 9. There you can look at the field here at Remax. Overcast skies overhead. The lights are on. New pitcher into the ball game is Jack Gamba. Michael Ross has got a chance here for a victory tonight. 2/3 of an inning of relief in the 8th inning. 0's over with 1 strikeout. As we get a look at Jack Gamba. Out of Vallejo, California, 6'1", 170-pound senior at Minot State University. This will be his 8th relief appearance, 9 innings, 9 hits, hasn't allowed a run, walked a batter, struck out 12, and he hasn't given up an earned run. Pretty good totals. ERA at 0.00.
That's very good totals.
They got a pretty good relief pen. They didn't see it last night. They were down by runs, but the setup guy here tonight, Michael Ross. Jaden Hoffman didn't throw a bad ball game either. And now is Jack Gamba. Throws it down the middle, but low ball 1 on Brandon Luther. Fully back on the middle infield, the first baseman Dahl comes over towards the foul chalk, as does McDougall at third, and he's just back of the bag. Strike in the outside corner.
It's that little back door and pops it right on the corner. In this case, you're down and you got to be swinging.
From the set position, here comes the pitch. A strike on the inside corner, right about knee high. 1-2 from Jack Gamba.
Now, those are 2 very accurate pitches. Both on the corners, nothing in the middle of the plate.
Prospects are not able to tie this thing. Michael Ross would pick up the victory. He'd improve his record to 3 wins and no losses. There's a defensive swing, just trying to protect the plate, loop the ball down the left side, now to play.
And that's what you have to do in this situation. If it's around the plate, you have to be swinging. You do not want to take a called third strike.
Time is called. This pitch and the ball is put into play. It's a little roller off to the right side. Campbell gloves it and throws it. And you got one away. Brandon Luther is erased.
Good breaking ball down and get that ground ball. 4-3.
Looking at the totals here tonight, 6 runs on 17 hits. No errors and 15 left on base. It's a wonder it's a 2-run ball game.
That's exactly right, and what we've talked about before.
Davis Pratt will look at a slider. It's down and in. 1 ball, no strike. Pratt with a pretty good night, 2 for 4. And he's got a run batted in. And the pitch from Gamba, dotted the eye on the outside corner. That's a surgical pitch.
He's done that twice. Did the same thing to Luther. The first strike that he threw to him. Right on that outside corner.
Gamba's 2 outs away from recording his 3rd save on the season. And the 1-1 pitch on the fists. Flared foul, strike 2. Just a few little things the prospects have done wrong tonight. One was a missed opportunity at first base. And a couple of errors. Errors are part of the game. They happen too much, though. It's usually not a good outcome. There's the pitch, and that ball had great movement on it. It ran away from that left-handed batter, kind of like a screwball. I'm going to have a look at this. See how that thing runs away?
Just very, very good ball.
Travis Hunt will be the batter up.
He's had a good night.
Yeah, he's 2 for 3. Hit the big fly ball in the first inning. Drew a walk in the 7th inning, stole second, and was stranded there. And we'll do it all again tomorrow night. Renew hostilities at 7:05. The weather getting better each and every day of the week. Big kick out of that set position with the left leg, and he throws a strike, 0-1.
Good breaking ball.
Vallejo, California, 6'1" right-hander. Has not given up an earned run all season. There you see that high kick. There he throws the breaking ball. He's got great location. He's always down.
Down and just off the corner or right on the corner. That one he had Travis Hunt stretching a little.
So the Miller Express are 1 strikeout away from improving their record back to 500. They'd go to 12-12. If they can do it here tonight. They didn't intend to throw that one for a strike. Wasted it down and away.
What he doesn't want to do is get this ball anywhere in the middle of the plate. Just keep working the corners, and if he gets balls, he gets them.
Sit at the 3-hour and 20-minute mark in this one tonight. Pitch is down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Bases empty. A lead of 2 here in the last of 9. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him on the slider. Toughest pitch in baseball to hit if you throw it right. It really is.
Very good pitch. Right in on the hands, and just an excellent pitch.
Well, there you have it, folks. Thanks to both the Moose Jaw, Miller Express, and the Edmonton Prospects for being here.
Well, here's the line totals in the ball game tonight. For the Prospects, 4 runs on 7 hits, 3 errors, 3 costly errors. 8 left on base, 6 runs, 17 hits, no error. I got to check that again. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 17 hits. Ouch. No errors and 15 runners left on base. I'm going to find out just how many batters they sent to the plate here tonight.
And the interesting thing through here, Al, is the Trappers, if they don't have those 2 errors, they probably win this ball game.
Sent 49 batters to the plate. That is wearing out your pitch, and that's a lot of batters.
Yeah, it really is.
That's better than 5 batters per inning. But that is that. This one's over. Let's head down to Andrew Peard. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Al. Standing by here with Blake Gallagher, pinch hit, go ahead knock in the top of the 9th inning. Just tell me, how are you able to stay focused? It's a long game, and then you come into the 9th and produce the go ahead hit.
Yeah, well, Coach told me early today that I'll probably be coming off the bench for a key pinch hit. So I just came in and was mentally prepared, watching pitchers throughout the game, and then they threw me off, new arm, and intentionally walked. But I just wanted to get a fastball I could hit.
And last night you were on the mound and you pitched a pretty good game. Obviously the team didn't get a result. How tough is that going from, pitching to the next day having to be, focused on the bench and staying loose, getting ready for a hit?
Oh, it's incredibly hard, and you got to have the right mindset to do it. But if you have the focus, then it's not as hard as you think.
Appreciate the time, Blake, and best of luck for you guys tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
That's Blake Gallagher. Al, John, back up to you guys.
All right, thank you very much. Well, again, just take a look at the records now. The Prospects fall 1 game back at 500, 14-15. Miller Express improved to a 500 record. They're 12 victories, 12 losses, with 2 games done in this series and 1 more tomorrow night. But over 40 batters to the plate tonight. Only 6 runs scored. That's a miracle off 17 hits.
It really is. And again, we talked about this early, where the Prospects were in good shape. They had 4 runs on 7 hits, and at that time they were winning. But what happened? You had 14 hits or 13 hits at that time for Moose Jaw, and then they come on, and 2 errors hurt them, and a misplayed ball by the second baseman, and all of a sudden, look at the score.
So the winning pitcher tonight is Zach Harrington, or I beg your pardon, he's the losing pitcher. He'll fall to 3-2. Michael Ross picks up the victory. He had a short night's work, 2/3 of an inning, zeros over with a strikeout. He improves to 3-0. Jack Garza faced 3 batters, struck out 2 of them, and got a ground ball up. He records his 3rd save. Time of the ball game, 3 hours and 21 minutes, 843 to watch it, as this series is now squared off at a win apiece with a rubber match tomorrow night.